It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clock's run out. Time's up.
Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. A broken house, a smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
It's Friday night.
It's close to midnight. Something evil lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes a sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is Thriller night, and no one's gonna save you from
Hey,
the beast of
it's Halloween on the West Coast.
Thriller night. You're fighting for your life inside a thriller night tonight.
Into the Microcosm. It's on the air.
You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold hand and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. But all the while, you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is Thriller night. There ain't no second chance.
Ghouls and ghosts are out tonight,
There's things that howl and things that bite.
but the one thing that will haunt you guys,
Is what's right here between our thighs.
spooky pussy. Oh, what a sight! Spooky pussy will give you a fright.
Better come prepared this
Rock and Rio.
Halloween, 'cause it's the hairiest pussy you've
Are
ever
you there?
seen.
Whoa,
Boo!
spooky pussy. It's scary and it's on the prowl, and in its grip you'll wail and howl. You'll never forget what you saw. It's a hoo-ha, boo-ha, ooh-la-la, spooky pussy. Oh, what a sight.
You there, Rock and Rio?
Spooky pussy will
I am
give you
here.
It'll slink
Watch out for that spooky pussy.
nice and slow.
Yeah.
It'll slink down on you, nice and slow. From 1954.
Nobody told me I shouldn't shave the kitty. But I did.
Oh, there's only one
Oh
thing
man,
you can do.
it's Happy Halloween, brother.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, I guess. Yeah. I'm not a big Halloween person, so.
Yeah, me neither. The real life is spooky enough for me,
What a fright.
you know.
Very true.
Yeah. So it's midnight on the East Coast. What's the news? Has the SNAP benefits gone into effect or not? What's going on?
I believe not. I think tomorrow is the big raid on Walmart day.
Huh.
I know Walmarts, especially those in metropolitan areas, have increased security for the impending doom
Yeah.
of the entitled.
Oh, I haven't looked really. I kind of saw, but not really. I just saw one short, but it looks like I see people going out with baskets full of groceries so far. I've seen a few videos.
Well, I did actually stop at the grocery store on my way home.
Picked up some extra supplies.
Yeah, well, not much, but you know, got some eggs and some steak.
Don't lie, man. You filled your basket up and took off, didn't you?
No, I only bought one bag full of food, and it was $100. That's enough.
Well, it looks like Epic Journeyman has joined us over there in the chat.
Ah,
So it says, I think he's ready to come on board because I see him over there in the chat. Man.
all right. Well, I'll give me a second. I'll dial up.
You got more than a second. Hey, it's Revolution Radio, fully listener supported. Come on down, become supporters. Trick or treat. You could stuff the great pumpkin full of some greenbacks.
Hmm.
You know? It's
So I
of the-
guess. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, listener supported, come on down and become those supporters. Without you, it wouldn't be possible. Now, have you found Epic Journeyman?
I'm working on it. I will grab him momentarily.
Momentarily. Yeah. So, it's been a crazy week. Obviously, all week there's been this drum beat for the SNAP benefits to run out. Apparently, there was a last-minute judgment by a couple of judges saying it was illegal for Trump not to use the contingency plan. They got some money sitting over there for emergencies, and they said they're not going to use it. And Trump said, even though the judge said he could use it, he says it's not, unless you can prove it's legal, he's not doing it. So I mean, I don't really understand the philosophy behind that, but apparently, yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens because tomorrow is or is it the first now where you are?
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. For 11 minutes now, it is the first.
For 11 minutes now, you've been in the beginning stages of Mad Max on the
That's
East
right.
Coast.
The New York Thunderdome is now open.
Speaking of the Thunderdome, man, Las Vegas is empty. They're saying that dome they built.
The ball, the globe thing.
Yeah.
Call it the sphere.
Yeah, the sphere is not
Sphere.
is not drawing the kind of people they thought it would. And that, my friend, is the beginning of the end for Las Vegas. Because who's got money to go throw at the slot machines? Who's paying $20 for a fucking bottle of water, man?
I don't know, but paying $20 for a package of meat at the store is getting to be a little bit ridiculous.
It's out of this. It's out of control.
When did hamburger get to $7 a pound, man?
When the
Seriously.
beef stopped being produced in the United States.
I stopped at a different store than I usually go to, so maybe it's a localer price kind of thing. Because I noticed some of the other stuff in that store was more expensive than it normally is too.
Yeah, well,
But-
stuff's very expensive at this point. It's beyond anything I've ever
Price
experienced.
for the week too.
I do remember the gas shortage, I do remember the odd and even gas plates. That's the biggest crisis I've ever seen in relation to this type of thing, where it's going to affect a lot of people. So how many millions of people live in the United States, do you know? Is it still like 350 million people, something like that?
Something like that.
All right,
yeah.
so out of those 350 million people, how many of those people are they're saying there's 42 million people on assistance. So out of the 350 million, some of those are kids, some of those are people that can't work. So out of those people that are left, there's not very many. I mean, I'd say what is there, 150 million? Would you say about half? I mean, I'm just guesstimating because I don't have the figures in front of me, but
I believe it's 42 million on Snap.
right, on Snap. But what I'm saying is out of the 42 million on Snap, the rest of the 350 million, those aren't all breadwinners, money earners, and workers. So those other people are living off of whatever.
So they're moochers, yeah, basically.
Well, not necessarily moochers, but just they might be kids. They might be in, K through 12. They're not providing for anybody. So I think out of the 350 million, I'd say about maybe half of that is providers. And then,
so it's 1 in 8 people in America are on Snap.
Okay, there you go.
I heard 1 in 8.
Well, it's
so that would be about right. 350 million to 40. Yeah.
So what? Yeah, 1 in 8. Chris is in the chat. People are loading up over there. Is Epic Journeyman on top, or what's going on with him?
I don't know. I rang him, but he didn't pick up.
Apparently, he's busy over in the chat.
Yeah,
he's busy.
Ringing him again.
He's a busy
Epic,
bee.
pick it up.
He's a busy bee over in the chat. Anyways, yeah. So
finally made it over here. Yeah,
there you go. So, the Golden Toad now has said it doesn't appear to be legal. He'd be happy to do it. It'd be I think he said it would be his honor to do it, or something like that. Some term like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't feel that it's legal now. Epic Journeyman. Out of the 350 million, about 150 million of those are providers. So 1 in 8 is that. I would say a third of the providers of this country are
it's like 1 in 4. Yeah, households. It's like 1 in 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's insane because people don't realize. A lot of people don't realize that it's not the categorized way that Reagan portrayed it back in the 80s. With the welfare queens or whatever, right? It's mostly rural America. It's mostly the heartland. It's mostly supplemental income, especially in the South. Mm-hmm. It's huge, So in places like New Mexico is one of the highest places. Ironically, New Mexico, not Mexico, is 1 in 4 people is on Snap.
Well, now is that because there's a lot of Indian reservations there?
That might be part of it. There's tribal lands. That's part of it, I'm sure. But it's also just the fact that the national minimum wage is so low. What's really happening here is because they refuse to raise the minimum wage. The government is doing it on the back end by providing people with the supplemental assistance they need to make ends meet because nobody can live on $7.25 an hour, right?
No.
So that's basically what it is. When it comes right down to it, that's what it really is. And when people look at it, when we're forced to confront it this way, like what's happening now, when you get the statistics in hand, you're like, well, hold on a minute. It's always been this way. We could get rid of all that entirely with UBI. UBI is going to have to happen. It just is. This is a prime example.
Well, it may happen sooner than later.
It might, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Well,
I'm sure there'll be a call for it.
The problem I have with it is that there's so many people abusing the system, and a lot of it has actually come to light, watching to go sorting through YouTube videos and whatever, where these people are out there, saying, well, I got 6 kids because each one of them gets me, more food stamps and more child support and more, and I don't have to work for a living.
Section 8 housing, things like that.
Yeah. And you all owe it to me. I was watching this one guy. He's like, well, my benefits run out because I'm a boss. I don't have to go to work. You work for me because you're the pup. And I was like, the level of entitlement of some of these people is absolutely outrageous. And I am fully 100% for supporting people who are, physically or mentally handicapped, veterans who have, been injured. Even if somebody
people on unemployment, yeah,
people who lost their job and need some help during their finding a new job or whatever, go for it. But these people that have been gaming the system for 20 years, 30 years, no. 6 weeks is fine, but 20 years, no, come on now.
Well,
Get
there's a
off
funny,
your,
it's funny
get
you
off
brought that
your
up.
fat lazy butt.
Yeah.
Stop talking about robbing Walmart and go get a job.
There's a conversation going on in X. I noticed today. I was working, so I didn't get to see it all, but I checked in at lunch or something, and I was watching. I say watch because you don't really watch your reading, right? But some of these videos are there, so I did watch those as well. And the discussion was all about how it migrated its way from, I guess, Instagram and TikTok. That a bunch of these, it ties into the show I was on last about Grok and artificial intelligence generating these videos, because there's this whole collection of videos that are fake, that are these fake welfare queens and these fake worst, most despicable people you can imagine saying exactly the kind of things you're describing, and they're not real, and you can't tell the difference. There's no watermarks, there's nothing there,
No.
and it's like all the rage, and so the discussion wasn't just about that. That's what led to what was trending on Twitter some today. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I can't call it X. It just drives me nuts. But it's because that is going to be how they control the people for years to come until that becomes regulated. There's just no way, and especially older generation didn't grow up with AI, where it's not just built into your filter, your reality filter to look for things like that. If you didn't already know about it as emerging technology. If you're just coming in, from your,
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you
6-year-old
guys.
person, you're not going to know.
Let me ask you guys a serious question. What the fuck does anybody care if people are gaming the system and making money off this shit? I mean,
'Cause
you
I'm
act
paying-
like
I'm paying for it.
Well, so everybody's paying. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying for Snap. You know what I mean? You're just paying taxes.
That's part of your income tax.
Which part? How much of my income tax is going to Snap?
Well, I don't know what the actual percentage.
It's less than 1%. Yeah, it's very small, actually. Yeah, for
What
that,
I'm
that
saying
Snap
to
and
you
stuff, it's
is,
tiny.
what I'm saying to you is, a lot of people in the alternative media don't like the government, right? But all of a sudden, people get weird and start acting like they want to be on the government's side for some reason. When it's like this, I don't want you. It's like you, Rio, going, "Oh man, I don't want them using my taxes or whatever." How much of the government's is the country's? Is anyone getting taxes right? They're still taking taxes out of our checks, aren't they?
And we're not getting
the
return,
government's
right?
closed, but they're still.
Yeah, okay. So it's a small percentage of our tax, and granted, there is tons of other abuse in the government of our taxes and whatever else. But instead of taking 25-30% of your paycheck, it should be 20% or 10% or whatever of your paycheck, because there's so much money wasted on so many things. And, obviously the people who are mooching on Snap is only a small part of it. There's a lot of corruption through,
Right.
But
what I'm
funding
saying-
transgender stage shows in Nigeria or whatever that was, that the Doge thing found, and some of that other madness. Yeah, that all should be cut out. I mean, there's it's
so
not
much-
just this particular argument against Snap. It's a particular argument against waste.
How
in
about
general.
these cocksuckers up in Congress, man? How about
come
them?
they're getting paid? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Their
why-
checks are still going through, right?
Their checks are going through. What I'm saying is, it's not. The thing is that there's a concerted effort to make everyone think that people that need Snap are a certain group of people. Yeah, there's a certain group of people out there, just like a small group of people are thieves, small group of people are drug addicts, so on and so forth. But it's not like this monolithic movement where, a lot of single moms are on this, man. Older folks are on it.
Yeah, no,
grandma's
and you
on
know
it.
what?
She's fucking eating cat food, man, and she's buying.
Well, if you've worked your entire life and you're retired and your Social Security isn't quite cutting it, you deserve Snap because
There you go.
what, you worked for it for your whole life.
Right.
I'm like I said, I'm anybody who actually really needs it, I'm totally all for that.
That's what I'm saying. And the rest of whoever's getting over is just it's just like the percentage of people in Congress that are getting over. There's a certain group of people in Congress. If you added them all up, all the people that are up there, there's a percentage of them that are fucking ripping everybody off. It's like a gang. It's like
Absolutely.
organized crime. and they're stealing shit at on millions of dollars at a time.
Well, insider trading in particular, they vote on the
Yeah.
very things they're going to invest in, right? I mean, it's absurd. I have to pay a $50 fine. It's $50 or $500. Not very much if they get caught, So they all do it.
Look,
You make
man,
$5 million, and I'll pay the $500 fine.
I've been on Snap before because I needed help.
Me too.
know
In
what I mean?
Arizona when I was over there. Yeah.
All right, but when I got a job, I went off Snap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the thing is, it's there to help. But then, like Rio's saying, there's other people that they make a career out of it. I mean, there is money to be made in a certain segment of the population is making that money.
It should be a
You know,
social
because what else-
sanction, though.
what
You know
else
what I
do they
mean? It's like people who beg for money, the panhandlers on the side of the road. Those people could go get a job for the amount of labor that they put out panhandling and make a lot more money, but they choose to do that instead.
Yeah, but
It's
it ain't
kind of
like
ironic
that
when you think
either.
about it.
Because
They work really hard at it.
I've been homeless too, and it's not like
Yeah.
that. It's like when you're homeless and you don't have a place to take a shower, to get dressed, to go down,
Right,
to
right.
go, you don't have a phone,
You're camping.
so on and
Air
so forth.
quotes camping.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. You don't have a phone. You know what I mean? It's like there's a bunch of stuff that goes on. Plus, I mean, you're not at your best. I mean, when you show up, I'm just saying.
No, you're dirty. You stink. Your clothes are all, you're disheveled, right? Disheveled rather. So you can't get a job because they don't want to hire you. It's like the human zoo, and they do all those experiments, and they have like the homeless looking guy down on the street in the front of the Capitol. Nobody helps him, but the guy with the briefcase falls down. They're all actors, and everybody rushes to their aid, right?
Right.
So it's exactly like that. The thing about discretionary spending is a lot of people, I mean, we just don't think about it the way it should be. Discretionary spending is money that Congress actually has control over. The other things like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security have their own tax. You pay separate. It's a whole different block on your W-2. When you look at it, it's completely different. You pay for that entirely separate. That's
What are you going to do now
non-discretionary
without the
spending.
food stamps?
It's devastating. I was getting $3,000 a month for my kids. Then I flipped it and got $1,500 cash. That paid for my lip wax, my butt wax, my chin wax, hair removal, iPhones, dresses, going out.
What are you going to do now without the food stamps?
It's devastating. I was getting $3,000 a month for my kids. Then I flipped it and got $1,500 cash. That paid for my lip wax, my butt wax, my chin wax, hair removal, iPhones, dresses, going out.
What are you going to do now without?
So apparently, from what I'm understanding, when she says she gets $3,000 a month, and she says I flipped it and got $1,500 cash. So now, are people taking these SNAP benefits and just turning them into cash?
Yeah, you can.
Because
that's the thing too is people taking their.
Sorry.
That's right.
In the
People
70s,
too,
yeah.
who getting the food stamps, right, and then they just sell them to somebody else for whatever they're worth,
Right.
or
Well, listen.
half of what they're worth. They just take the cash for it because they don't really need it.
Now, I happen to know for a fact that this is true because in the 90s, I had a roommate that had food stamps, and he would go to this one particular market. And these were before you had the credit card thing. This was actual food stamps, look like dollars.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's different.
So he would take these paper food stamps to the store, and they would give him 75 cents cash for each food stamp dollar.
Right,
And that
yeah.
was, that was a while ago. So, I mean, I guess apparently this is still, going on then.
Yeah, I don't know if the stores do it anymore, but you could,
Well,
sell it
certain
off to somebody,
stores.
sell it off to your neighbor or whatever.
Yeah, you're not
Well,
going.
you'd have to do the work. Like EBT cards, the way it works now is like they can card you at any time. It's linked to your account. So if you get a direct deposit, generally speaking. So when you have to go nowadays with the card, it's like an ATM card, right? You'd have to be like an Uber driver or what's Uber Eats? What's the name of the other one? Like the Dining Dash, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, where you're actually doing a little bit of labor. You'll go use your money, not for obviously Taco Bell necessarily, but someplace that takes it and give it to somebody else. They pay you at a discounted rate, cash, right? So you'd have to do something like that. You could scan the card in some places, I'm sure, but if you get caught, it is fraud. You will go to jail. So it's pretty risky, But like Jimmy was saying, I'm sure there's some unscrupulous stores out there that are designed to do that on the download.
Yeah, it's not.
People
You're
know
not.
who they are.
It's not your chain store. These are your independent markets.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
Where
like
everybody has a name you can't pronounce, right?
Exactamundo. All right, listen. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, when we come up here at the top of the hour, I'll scroll around and see if I can see any videos. But I mean, at this point, it would have to be a 24-hour store that was getting. I mean, I saw a video earlier where the woman had a basket full of groceries. She was walking out, and the security guard was pushing back on the basket, trying to keep her from leaving. And she was saying, "Hey, man, I got 8 kids. I got to feed my kids," or whatever. I mean, no matter how you feel about it, Rio, I mean, you gotta. I mean, it's not the kids' fault. You know what I mean? I mean, they got to eat somehow.
Well,
You know
it's
what I
not the
mean?
kid's fault, but it is definitely the parents' fault.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, right now, it's, these kids are going hungry the minute there's no snaps. And the thing, let me just say, the way it works, let me just throw this in here. The way this shit works is you get your snap at a certain time of the month, and you don't get nothing for the rest of the month. So typically when people have SNAP, what they do is they go out and they fill their fucking basket full of shit. They fill it with everything that they want, and they bring it home. And if you're living in a certain kind of household, you've been doing without for all these weeks, and now the new stuff comes in, and it's all the shit that you like gets eaten up in the first couple of days. Everybody just starts eating everything. Okay, and then there's nothing left but the rest of it, the staples.
Lima
whatever.
beans.
Yeah, exactly. All the shit. You eat up all the chips, you drink the sodas, you eat the cookies, and then there's nothing.
Well, and that's kind of the other thing too, right? If you're on food assistance, right, it should be to supply you and your children or whoever the nutrition, right? Things like gummy bears should not be on SNAP, or Oreos and stuff like that. Milk, eggs, bread, food, meat, cheese. It
should be like the old days. Yeah,
all of that stuff, absolutely. But
they used to have.
When you're loading up on Lay's potato chips and gummy bears, that shouldn't even be like accepted, from SNAP. But if you really need it, you should make the effort to budget some healthy protein and.
Do you think people that are on SNAP budget shit? Do you think?
Well, no.
Do you
If
think
they did, they wouldn't be on SNAP in the first place.
That's right. That's what I mean. It's everybody, everybody's got their own thing, man. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's
but
example.
As far as the government handing it out, though, they should make that part of the rules is that you can't fill your card up with crap.
Well, my uncle is retired, and he retired at 62, so he gets the lesser amount. He only gets like $900 a month or something. He doesn't get very much.
For
and he gets
food?
$179 EBT. He lives in my house on the Big Island, tends to the house while I'm gone over here in Maui.
Right.
And so he gets $179 a month for EBT.
Right,
And
that's
he
for
does
food.
exactly like Jimmy described. He goes for everything at the beginning of the month. He goes and buys everything he needs, right? And he rations it out. He does budget exactly the best you can. And it doesn't make it to the end of the month because food is more than $179 to get you through the month.
$179 a month.
Yeah.
Divide that by the week.
Basically $40 a week, but it's less because 4.3 weeks a month. So it's
$40
about
a week.
$37 a month.
How does
a week, rather,
how
$37
much
a week.
$37 a week? How much food does that buy in fucking Hawaii?
Not very much.
Not very much. I mean, I
Nope.
seriously would doubt it would even buy much here. I mean,
Well, like
maybe
I
a
said,
bag-
even tonight when I stopped at the store, one bag full of, meat, cheese, eggs, and some bread was $100. So
Yeah, me too. I just went shopping yesterday at Costco. It's always $100 at Costco, but I got a pretty decent sized ration for the month, and it was like $259.
Mhm.
But that's going to Costco and being again budgeting, trying to plan ahead, and thinking about it, and it's still $259. That's without any produce, mind you. That's just
And you're saying
meat,
that's
starch,
for
and
the
things
month?
like that. Yeah.
For the month.
Yeah. That's not much, man. That's Costco in Hawaii, right? So I'm doing the best I can there. There's a lot of canned food in there. I got the canned, tuna chili, the canned chicken, all that kind of stuff, right? And some frozen items.
Man, I spent
meals, but-
$100 on almost nothing. Two
Yeah.
cases, listen, 2 cases of water, some sodas, and I mean it wasn't grocery shopping. It was just basic, items, snack items and stuff. It's $100.
yeah, well,
They need
there's no doubt that the prices are really starting to get pushed too. It's starting to get a little ridiculous with some of this stuff. That's
Yeah.
you know, that's just it shouldn't be, right? You know, but
I'm telling you, the welfare cheese and the milk and all the stuff you used to go and get down at the every city had
Commodities.
their own place you go. Yeah, the commodities. Yeah, just go get them.
That's what it was called.
That's the way it should be.
Commodities.
That way you can't really scam that unless you're selling the peanut butter or something, right?
Well, the other thing is, if you're on commodities, you're going to get a job as quickly as possible, man. You don't want to be on commodities, man.
I know, right?
It's powdered
Everything
milk.
there is designed as a byproduct. I'm sorry, to point out, everything there is designed to make you constipated. By the way, I grew up on that stuff as a kid, so I was very, very, very poor growing up. So
that
I know all about
powdered milk, man. That
Awful.
I
Disgusting.
hated powdered milk when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's
right.
disgusting.
Jamming powdered milk down your kid's throat. That's all you could fucking buy with how much? $179. Now, when I was on the Snap, and this was during the Michelle Pfeiffer incident, I got $269. $269. So
That's pretty good. Yeah.
well, I mean, not really.
No. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's better
relatively
than because in a way.
speaking,
Yeah.
Better than
He might get a little bit
179.
more. He might get more now, but that's what it was when he first started.
Yeah, it's better than
Back in
179,
2017.
but not as good as, going down and buying whatever you want because you're hungry, whatever it is. I mean, they're saying
Can't do it.
they're saying even high-end shoppers now are moving to the lower-end stores. The pricing, they're not. All of a sudden, people aren't so concerned about organic anymore.
Yeah, Whole Foods or whatever,
and
right?
that.
They can't afford to go there.
Yeah.
They can't go to Whole Check anymore. Yeah.
It's just like if the
No, for me,
if the shit
Sorry.
hit the fan, you wouldn't be afraid to eat up all the unhealthy foods that you don't want to eat now.
No.
You'd eat anything you could eat because you're hungry. Like we were saying, top ramen. I mean, lots of
I
people.
ate my survivalist food last year.
Did you?
It was awful. It was freaking awful. That stuff I had, my non-perishable foods. I
Yeah.
decided to started eating it, right? I didn't want to go bad. It's been there
Yeah.
for years, so
Well, there's
I
lots of
started
people.
eating some of that stuff. It's awful.
There's lots of people that spend some money on that storable food at a certain time, and it's not necessarily for the apocalypse. It could be any time. I mean,
Yeah.
when the last time I prepared for one of these end of the world events, and I went out and bought a bunch of shit, I basically lived on that. When times got hard. You know what I mean? It actually did serve me, but
Well, that's it's good planning for that as a a future event, whether it's the apocalypse or you just you get hurt at work and can't work. There's always a positive to that, and I'm sure that stuff is probably a lot more nutritious than what people are shopping for on their the gummy bears and the ho-hos.
well, anything's more nutritious than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, on one level, to me, I see that there has been a bunch of stuff going on for a few years now. It was Black Lives Matter, and then there was No Kings, and there's all this stuff. And it seemed like, people were trying to get people, George Floyd. People were trying to get people excited and trying to get people pissed off, burning cities down and shit, but it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. I mean, some stuff happened, a little here and there, but it wasn't like what they really want, which is the total breakdown.
They want the chaos. They want the
It's-
the insanity to ensue, because then then it can be martial law or whatever.
Now, are people
Insurrection Act. Yeah.
Are people
Well, that
also-
ballroom's pissing some people off, man. Tearing down the White House and making that stupid monstrosity is pissing a lot of people off, and it's reaching people like George Floyd never did. Actually, George Floyd reaches a certain number of people in a certain demographic, but that's pissing everybody off. Nobody wants the Gilded Age. Nobody wants the golden toilets in the White House. Nobody wants the golden faucets. That's really happening, and people are pissed about it while they're struggling to get food and have no EBT to go buy themselves a meal. That's ridiculous. That's Marie Antoinette level stuff.
And no one's talking about the fact that shit has gone up at least 40%. Stuff is up 40%. Man, Rio just said he paid $7 a pound for hamburger.
Dude, I spent how much was it? $25 for three pounds. Yeah, so at Costco. At Costco. Yeah, here in Hawaii.
Well, it was. Well, I bought the 80/20. I didn't buy the very expensive stuff.
Yeah, this is 8515.
And I
the
think
Costco
it,
brand.
I think it was $5.99 a pound. So.
That's not even the bolt on one of those golden faucets, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, not even a thread on one of those golden faucets. Yeah.
Well, you know, the one thing I can say in defense of the ballroom is that it's not being paid for by the people. It is being paid for by, you know, by the Ing Don over there. You know, but you know, every president has done some modifications to the White House.
Not like that. Come on,
Well,
no, it's bigger.
no,
It's
maybe
literally
not
bigger
like
than the White
that,
House. It's almost twice as big. It's 90,000 square feet. It dwarfs the White House. It's giant.
But you know what? Obama spent, you know, how many millions on his basketball?
It wasn't millions.
court?
It wasn't millions. It was he painted lines on the concrete and put up a net. That's a lot different than tearing down an entire wing of the White House and putting up a giant monster 90,000 square foot Gilded Age ballroom. You know, they are not the same. There's nothing in history is the same. There's nothing you can point out. Even when they had to rebuild the White House that was burnt down in the War of 1812, even after they had to rebuild the White House during the Roosevelt administration, I believe it was, when it was just falling apart because it's so old, right? And ironically, one of the bigger things that's going to come back and cost more than $400 million, which is at least what this is going to cost, is going to be the lawsuits they're going to have to pay for the asbestos exposure all the workers have been exposed to because they had no asbestos abatement. And now as people are starting to point out that there's asbestos every freaking where and that stuff they tore down.
Well, tell that to
you watch that. It's going to be billions of dollars.
Tell that to all the firemen in New York City.
Oh, yeah, they know best. They sure do. Yeah.
I mean, after 9/11, I mean, what happened to them? Did they get their money? Did they get any money?
No, some of their survivors are now.
They are now, but a lot of the people who went through that are, you know, already dead from the cancer and whatever else that they got from it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. If you stall them out long enough, they die off, and then you don't have to pay them.
Yeah. It's a pretty significant number. You know what it is, Rio? It's high. It's like over 50%.
I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but yeah, there's lots. you know, there's a lot.
I mean, they're dead or they're in the hospital. You're being treated for I can't pronounce it tonight. Whatever. Right. So,
mesothelioma.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, I'm having a problem with the TH tonight. But it's just awful. But they had to create a whole disease for it because it's not just that. It's just all the other chemicals that were in the fire retardants and things that were in the structures, and the structures came down. All that stuff they spray on the beams and everything, right? Coating.
If you remember back to the videos of the day, and the people running down the street and that cloud of dust chasing them, right? That just coated everything.
Yeah.
It looked like volcanic ash almost. I mean, that was, concrete dust, which is also not good to breathe in, right? Because that causes, the quartz crystals in your lungs, and
yep,
like you said, the chemicals and fire retardants and the asbestos and all the other stuff that goes along with it. That was a cloud of brutality, basically.
It's like chemical warfare, yeah.
Yeah.
The World War I trench, man.
Yeah.
I mean, might as well have been.
Yeah, I still hear ads on the radio now for the Tunnels to Towers Foundation, which is part of what's supplying health benefits for those people who have been affected by that. Like they're still raising money and doing things for that, at least in this area.
Man, I don't know. The thing is at some point something's got to happen, and this might be that moment. This might be the moment everyone's been waiting for now. So what's going to happen when people run out of food stamps? I mean, are they going to do what people think they're going to do? Are they going to start
raiding the store? No.
The thing is, even if you're not,
well, I'm sure there's going to be people who try to get away with walking out the store with the food and feeling they're entitled to it for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, what's going to stop? What's going to stop?
Maybe instead of robbing the store, they'll just go rob their neighbor.
What if what happens is people glom onto a situation. So there's people that maybe going berserker because they need to get some food. And then there's a bunch of other people that don't have Snap. They ain't even on Snap, but they're just going to go ahead and just do what everybody else is doing too.
Well, that's like, when the riots were happening a couple of years ago during the summer, right? You'd smash a window in a Nike outlet, and then, next thing you know, there's 50 people in there running out with shoes just because they can get them,
In 2025,
it'll be the same kind of chaos. It just won't be shoes. Or whatever like that. It'll just be groceries or.
That's what I mean. In 2025, you can get, send out a text and have 100 people show up in hoodies, and clear out a gas station. I mean, that's already been going on.
When they robbed the train,
that happens out quite a bit in California, from what I understand too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's going to build. It's design. It's by design, not just to declare the Insurrection Act, but the old Hegelian dialectic, right? To problem, solution. You cause an event, problem, solution, and this is it. So you all of a sudden you can't afford to eat, and then a certain group of people partake in this lawlessness to feed themselves with justification that they need that loaf of bread is their motive, honestly. And then the social contagion aspect of it, where it catches on, becomes a fad.
That's what I'm saying.
And everybody just starts doing it. Is what they're counting on, right?
Yeah,
see, we have all this lawlessness. Yeah,
there's not enough.
It's riot mentality, right?
Is this what are these troops all pre-positioned because this whole thing is scripted, man? Are they moving? And so I heard that Trump had moved a lot of his administration to military bases. And I haven't verified that, but I heard that's what's going on.
You know what's worse? He actually fired the generals and admirals and stuff that were living there. I mean, just straight up fired them to make room for Kristi Noem and for Stephen Goebbels Miller and all those other people. I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, those people just lost their job and their house. The woman who's in charge of the Coast Guard got booted for, I think it was J.D. Vance, actually, wasn't it? It was one of the higher up people. That was months ago before this started happening. And straight up just fired her, gave her a day to move out. She's been there for years, right? You can't move. Who can move in a day, right? She didn't do anything wrong. She's just living in the house they wanted. So there you go.
And the other thing is, Omega just brought up a good thing in the chat, or a good point in the chat. Bezos just fired 30,000 workers.
That's gonna be a big deal.
With Amazon, Intel's laying off, I think, 17,000 people. There's like mass layoffs going on in the tech sector because our old friend, the artificial intelligence, is going to be taking over a lot of those jobs real soon.
Well, the robots are taking over the physical labor jobs. That's what Amazon's laying off those 30,000 people for. And then the artificial intelligence is getting rid of the mid-level, and actually some of the higher level, they don't know it yet, white-collar executive positions, because they can do it better up to and including the legal teams that are at those places, right? So,
well, why do you need a call center or a customer service center for if you can?
You don't.
You have a couple computers in a back room that take care of all of that, right?
Yeah. While they're mining crypto in the background.
Yeah.
When they're not answering the phone, they're mining crypto. I'm telling you, man, it's more nefarious than people believe it is at this point. And people believe it's pretty nefarious at this time. It's just worse than people think it is. Well, it is all hitting at once.
I don't think
the AI apocalypse is a real thing.
I
think
don't
about it, right? So now there's no SNAP benefits, but now there's 300,000 people that need those benefits.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon either.
Nope.
It's going to keep going until it's done. Now, you can go on YouTube now and you can't tell one video from another. So, I mean, you don't know what's real anymore at all. I mean, there's videos of people that you know. I saw a crypto video the other day, which is with Larry Fink and the guy from XRP, and it looked real. It looked real.
Yeah, what's his name? Tyson, the scientist guy, is everywhere. The media scientist guy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. That was one of the things they were showing. There was one of those TikTok AI videos going around. It's not him. It looks. You can't tell though. He sounds like him. Looks like him.
Yeah, and Michio Kaku is making videos every day about 3i Atlas.
Yeah.
That is a whole. That has turned into like we said about a month ago. It's an ecosystem. It's already. I mean, it's to the point now where. I mean. There's videos out there where Avi Loeb is saying stuff. I mean, don't even know if that's true that he did say it. I mean, if he did say it, it could be a career killer, you know. But at this
How
point,
could he prove he didn't is the problem, right? Like, one of the things I discovered in my my 2-week long absolute rabbit holes of search into using Grok, and that wasn't even the most capable. It's one of the most capable picture to or text to image AI generative things, because the faces and the bodies and everything morph almost perfectly. I mean, they're really good. Like, a lot of the other ones aren't as good as that, and it's free. That's the irony, right? But the thing is when I was doing that, I was realizing that you're getting paid to train the AI. So like the thing that's happened is you are your free thing. You're supplying it with the content. When you're uploading pictures for it to generate these images and videos for you, right? For your family album or whatever, Grandpa in World War I and World War II or whatever, depending how old you are, those are now baseline things that are in the reservoir of the artificial intelligence to use when it generates the next image for somebody else. So don't be surprised if you see yourself or Grandpa one day when you're making images for something else that you're making on Grok, for example, or ChatGPT-4 or whatever else you're using, or Sora. Those things, the reason they're free or low cost is because you're putting the input in the content and training the AI and making it better. You're doing the work for it. Every time you try to beat the moderation tools to make something that, and the moderation tools are funny because it moderates things, just says it's moderated. It doesn't mean it really is. It just means it failed. The AI didn't, make what you wanted, but it still counts. Like, so let's say you have your free one, you get 10 free images a day, which is really 10 every 2 hours. Really, it resets for the one on X for Grok. But you use that if it doesn't make it when you print your prompt, you still get counted. You know what I mean? It still counts as a try. It's like these are all coins, and that's why it's very much like gambling. It's very much like a slot machine. It's exactly like a slot machine.
Well, Amber brought up earlier to me that apparently Airbnb is totally collapsed, and everywhere you see disposable income being spent, like Vegas, like Airbnbs, any of this shit, it's all going away. And Amazon's laying people off too, and the retail environment is completely changed. Now I went into Target the other day to get something out of there, and I was going to the food section, and as I was walking back, I walked by the men's clothing area, okay, and I saw a pair of these black pants over there, so I went over there and I looked at them, and they were like $40-something for these pants. These pants were nothing, man. Cheap junk, generic shit that you would never buy in a million years back in the day. I mean, if you were in a store and those pants were sitting there, and there was other Levi's and whatever else over there,
get your Wranglers for $11.99.
Right,
yeah,
you'd be going to Wrangler, or you'd be going to Levi's or whatever. You know what I mean? But the Wrangler and Levi's ain't even in the store. Okay, they're just this junky piece of shit pants for $40. Now,
different shades of gray jumpsuit soon.
Yeah, well, check this out now. Now, when you buy those same pair of pants or something similar, just work pants. These are what I'm talking about. You can buy those a better pair of pants for $21 online and have it shipped to you and come to your house the next day. So there's no way that Target can sell that same pair of pants for $20. They couldn't sell you those pair of pants for $20 and still make money. Why? Because they got a fucking giant nut with that store. They got to pay the rent on that store. They got to pay all those employees. They got to keep the lights on, the heat on, the air conditioning on. They got theft. They got shrinkage. They got all this shit. It's all priced into the items. Then on top of that, you add the inflation. There's no way a store can survive.
Right, so they got all that nut, right? But they also still have the logistics cost. So if you cut everything down to just the logistics cost and a UPS fee or whatever, $10 to ship it, they're making out way better.
Way better. So we gotta, I want to bring this up with you, Epic, and both of you guys, but Epic specifically because you're an electrician, you're in the trades. So these giant buildings, the ones let's just focus on Vegas for now. We can talk about New York or any other of these cities. if you got a high-rise apartment building, you got plumbers and maintenance people and air conditioning people. You got all this whole giant group that does nothing but every day but maintain the facility, right? So what happens when you start cutting back on labor and stop maintaining those facilities, Epic? How long, like, let's say I have a hotel in Vegas and I'm borrowed out to the hilt and no one's coming there and I can't make the payments and I got a default. Now I default on my hotel. Now, in the next 3 or 4 months, while my hotel's been closed and defaulted on, that place is going to degrade almost to a point where you almost really can't even go in there and try to make it happen again. It'll cost you so
things
much
like mildew
money.
and mold and just simple things like that occur. You know, if the fire sprinkler lines break and spray a room, and you get mold creeping the entire building. And that's why you go to places like the Sahara and Aladdin back in the day, or in Vegas, and there'd be cheap room. Aladdin they tore down, and they eventually tore the Sahara down too. But that was one of the last ones to go. But even there, as long as it stayed open in Sahara, you still smelled that musty odor and stuff, right? And why? Because it went through a period of time where it wasn't maintained as properly as it should have been. And that's the thing about a building. A building, once it goes, it costs more to keep it up than it does to tear it down. It really does, you know. So it reaches a breaking point, no pun intended, where that's exactly what has to happen. It's just you have to demo it and start new.
Local
If you add it up.
617 for me, Scott, in the chat. And the chat's filling up nice. Looks like Drone's over there. Scott's over there. Who else is over there? Karen's over
Karen,
there. Yeah. Ronan's over there.
Omega Logos.
Man.
Who else? I saw Flippy was in there.
Mm-hmm. Woohoo! Amber 2's in there. Yeah, so Amber was bringing up who's going to buy stuff. Exactly, because the thing is, it's a domino effect. In order for me to even buy shit at Amazon, I got to have a job. So if I don't have a job, I'm not buying anything. And so if I'm not buying anything, how many people, when I stop buying shit, how many people go out of work? A lot. There's lots of people.
It's like a 3-to-1 ratio.
Yeah,
actually.
it's and so then they're all out of work. And then when they're out of work, I mean, this is like Moore's law for the economy. Because if you're only buying, if you can only afford gas, rent, and a little bit of food, you're not buying extra shit at the mall. I mean, those malls are done. And you know, maybe this is why we've seen these ground floors in all these big cities. A lot of the businesses on the ground floors of these high rises are not even open anymore. You know?
I mean, even the local malls, right? There's, you know, I don't generally frequent the mall, but every once in a while I go over there for, you know, a specific reason or a specific store. You know, they're empty, man.
Yeah. Well, what if Mike Mont's talking about restaurants now? Restaurants, another one. I mean, look at how many people have restaurant jobs. You know, how many people depend on those tips? I mean, are people tipping anymore?
No, or if they are, it's because they're used to be tip workers themselves. And when I was saying the 3-to-1, that's actually pretty close to accurate. It might be even more nowadays if you consider the overseas people you're supporting. For a person making $100,000 a year, that's an average consumer or a family, just is counted as one, whether it's a couple or one person. If they go out to eat, they go to the store, they buy things from Amazon, they do all these things. And when they cut back, all those things no longer happen. So no longer you're not supplying the people in Bangladesh making the clothes, you're not supplying the local restaurants anymore, you're not supplying the farmers, are supplying those restaurants with their food because they can't buy the food anymore. Everybody cuts back, and as everybody cuts back, it's the true definition of trickle down economics.
Right.
It affects everybody down the line with greater and greater intensity.
And what about the perishables? How long will you keep producing perishables that keep going bad and you keep having to send them back? These milks, these fruits and vegetables, all this shit. It's perishable. And the same thing in the restaurant business. Your number one thing in a restaurant business is food costs, man. You know, I mean, every time you go to a restaurant now, you got to wonder how long they're stretching it out. You know, you got to wonder if I mean, it might even be bad to even try to think about eating out right now. Wouldn't you say? I mean, You know, old Bob down
Stress
there.
management at a certain point. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Bob's down there running that burger joint. He may be hanging on to that hamburger a little bit longer than he should.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
When salmonella outbreak, he's out of business, and you're out of work because you had to take 2 weeks off with the ptomaine or whatever. So, you know, and that is exactly how a civilization crumbles. It's not all at once. A lot of times, it's these small little fissures that start breaking in the walls, and eventually, it lets the outside in, and it just all crumbles. And that's what's happening to us right now. It's identifiable clearly. You can look at it and see this is exactly what's happening. And they talk about all this money going into the electricity and infrastructure to make AI, and how it's a giant circular bubble being built where NVIDIA makes the chips, and then OpenAI and ChatGPT and Grok buy the chips to make the AI, and then NVIDIA invests back in those AI platforms and still keeps making more chips, make their stock prices go up. And it's very much like the tech bubble of the 90s. And people think it's going to collapse that way. But I don't think it is. Because once general artificial intelligence occurs, it'll just absorb everything else, like we've always said. And then the infrastructure is there. And that infrastructure will be harder to break because it's self-sustaining in the sense that the very things that perpetuate it, the AI itself, will make its own solutions to keep it online, right? Mm-hmm. And who will suffer? We will. We will, because it's not going to spend those resources keeping us alive. It's going to spend it keeping itself alive, so to speak. Its own definition of being useful, right? Necessarily life.
Keep yourself
It's a predictable outcome.
Well,
what's that?
I don't know. We'll see. Can crisis be averted? Who's going to get blamed for this? Right now, who's going to get blamed? Are they pointing fingers and saying that this group is doing it so that group doesn't get reelected again in the midterms? I mean,
there's not going to be politics anymore when this happens. It's going to be complete societal collapse. I mean, so there's nobody to blame. It won't be necessarily Thunderdome, but it's going to be whatever comes back after, to where it'll be just, I think of the album 2112 for those old enough back in the day to listen to Rush back in there. Yeah, it had this premise based around like the priest class running everything. And the priest class would be the Silicon Valley people running the AI, essentially, that know the real truth about everything, but everybody else would just be back to techno-feudalism. It won't be feudalism, it'll be techno-feudalism, where we have some technological ability and some kind of knowledge, but only what's allowed, right? So I think that's where
that's the other thing. That's the other thing too. Is Silicon Valley jobs. What's going to happen with most of these people, these engineers and all these fucking coders and all this shit?
Absolutely gone.
There's going to be I mean, it is so expensive to live in the Bay Area, man. It's crazy to live in the Silicon Valley. If you're trying to live over there, it's crazy. And I'm telling you right now, where all these jobs are going to disappear. Do these tech, just like me? I told you, when I had the accident and I broke my leg, I was going through a cybersecurity class, Google cybersecurity. I was going through it. I got more than halfway through the thing, and then I realized, what the fuck am I doing this for? Because this is doable by AI. How much longer are cybersecurity jobs going to even exist? There's no way that you could be as on top of it as a machine that runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No way. And these engineers, these people sitting in cubicles in all these buildings over here in Silicon Valley, if you think Amazon's getting rid of some people, wait till the shit hits the fan in the Bay Area. Because it's gonna. But the thing is what happens, let me ask you guys this question. What happens when you get rid of all the people that know how to do everything, and then all of a sudden, you need them again? It took them a long time to get trained to do that shit, and now you let them go to waste, you let them go away, and now there isn't anybody. It's just like when the power goes out and everybody's got to run back to paper. They got to give you a receipt, they got to write it down, they got to give you a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. Shit, a lot of people today can't even write.
They
got to type on a computer. Go ahead.
It's top of the hour. It's time to reconnect.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, listen.
See you guys on the other side.
We're going to be right back. Yeah, and listen, we're not joining Ground Zero till 10:30 tonight, so stay tuned for that. Mine's Jimmy. We'll be right back. That's Epic Journeyman over there, rockin' Rio.
large and small, sector, vector, eat them all. It's already in the rise. Among the mental ones, a messenger will soon arrive. 100011 10101. Periodic table with a centerpiece of mind. 100011 10101. Periodic table with a centerpiece of mind. Man alive, the jiving lyrics. Radioactive, don't come near it. Temple of Syrinx having the big sale of the year. Man alive, the jiving lyrics. Radioactive, don't come near it. Temple of Syrinx having the big sale of the year. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Gonna be a big brawl over it, like them little bitty babies in the king cake. Bonnie and Clyde, the whole dome. The shackles of automata will shatter like their bones. 100011 10101. Periodic table with a centerpiece of mind.
It's into the microcosm. Hour number 2.
destroyed the world. They destroyed the world. They destroyed the world. They destroyed the world.
We're talking about the current situation. And I didn't have time to go scroll over on YouTube to see if there's any carnage yet, because now everybody's got a camera in their hand and everyone can air their dirty laundry right here on YouTube. So we're talking about AI replacing some people, and what happens to those people when they're gone and you need them again? Where do those people go? They're not there anymore. Then what happens? It's just like not being able to find a piece of paper. You got to write a note.
Well, you know, at some point people won't even be able to do that because they won't be able to write.
Yeah, well, I think they're already there. There's people that can't tell a clock, tell what time it is. Right on, there's 761 people over at Ground Zero Plus. We'll be joining them in about 30 minutes. We're also going to open up the phones so we can get some reports from around the country, see if anything's going on now. There goes Night Stalker, heavy tripping. So there we go. What's going on out there, Rio? Have you heard anything now? I'm going to take a look real quick. I'm going to scroll up over here. You're getting some props in the chat saying you're right, Rock and Rio.
Well, thank you.
You're right. You were right. Now, so far, here, I found something.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it. Try and stop me. Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying.
All right. So, that's not the typical character that you've been seeing. I should play that video on screen. Maybe I will. But you guys jump in here real quick. I'm gonna get this video. I'm gonna play this.
Yeah,
video
well,
on
it's a
screen.
demographic I was describing, right? Like that's the thing when you break it down. The image created by Ronald Reagan back in the 80s was that you had this welfare queen that that had 8 kids and was making $10,000 a month or something. That's just not the fact. That's not the way EBT works, or Food SNAP they call it now. It's EBT in other states, but still SNAP is expenditure from Congress. But the fact is that it's highly rural and it's highly white and it's highly concentrated in the South. I mean, it's a lot higher than people think. I mean, you count the number of people per capita in a population center like, let's say, Boston or something. It's really not that many people, but that's what people think of. Or actually, they think of like Oakland's what they think of, to be more specific. They think of that, right? But that's not the way it is. It's not that at all. It's the farmers in South Dakota. It's the people down in New Orleans. It's the people over in Arkansas, especially places like Arkansas, Mississippi. Coincidentally, the most impoverished states, the least educated states, are in the Deep South, like Arkansas, Mississippi, specifically. I hate to pick on them, but it's true. And they're the ones most prone to corruption and scandal as well. Like those 2 states in specific terms have had more actual fraud and abuse than anybody else. And they're not run by a bunch of welfare queens at all.
You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no.
You guys, here. Let me get this up on the screen for everybody. Hang on a second. Yeah, so, I mean, Rio, are you scanning? Is anybody else scanning for breaking news? Breaking dirty laundry? Hold on. Hang on one second.
No, I'm not currently scanning.
Well, start scanning. I'm gonna play this video here on screen real quick. Hang on a second. Let me get the sound going.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it. Try and stop me.
Now,
y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food.
There's a dude but standing behind this person who's shooting video of this. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, people got their cell phones out at every opportunity to, get
catch that kind of thing.
Get
some
some
people even
material
play actor.
online.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt Rio. We were talking at the same time. No, I was just saying that some people do this on purpose for the clicks, right?
Mike Matthews is saying Trump says he's using the emergency funds.
Well, or court ordered him to.
Now, it's interesting
it's not
that
his
he's
discretionary spending to have. It's
he's going to
Congress's.
ride in on the white horse now and be the hero. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's the arsonist claiming victory for solving the fire, right? For fighting the fire.
He is.
It's crazy.
He's riding in on the white horse, and he's the savior. He's going to make it happen. No.
Yeah, food just.
Yeah. Rock and Rio.
She's living pretty well on those food stamps. Yeah, it looks like. But
is that now? Look that up real quick, just to.
The tribal lands. I mean, the part, New Mexico. You mean, or the other part?
No, that he's using the funds.
Oh no, he doesn't have the ability to use the funds or not. It's not up to him.
No,
Congress says that.
Mike Matthews said, yeah, he was ordered to, but he said no, Mike. He said he's not using them because he said unless they can prove it's legal. So I thought maybe you saw something that changed in the last couple hours.
No, he said he'd be happy to do it. I saw that part.
Right, he'd be happy.
This is what he got impeached for the first time with Ukraine. This congressional appropriated funding that went to Ukraine. He held it back until he got dirt on Joe Biden. That was the whole thing. That's what he got impeached for. Right. This is the same thing. It's called internment of funds. There's another word for it also, but he doesn't have that ability. It's not a right the president has. All the spending is controlled by Congress, all of it. It's in Article 1 of the Constitution. It has nothing to do. The president does not have the right to do tariffs, except in an absolute emergency, which we don't face right now. He doesn't have the right to do this kind of thing. He has none of that ability. It's an absolute violation of the Constitution. Congress alone has what they call the purse strings, the right to.
So they're trying to bait him into doing it, and he's saying no. I ain't doing it until you show me how I can do it.
Congress is out of session. Yeah. So technically, Congress would have to do it, and they're out of session. This is going on 6 weeks now. They're out of session next week too. It'll be 6 weeks, paid vacation, basically. Crazy. They get paid the whole time. I mean, what a job, right? You get paid for 6 weeks to do whatever you want, not report to your job, and it might go through to Christmas at the rate it's going. It's definitely good at Thanksgiving. Congress is notoriously lazy around the holidays. They quit November 5th or something, and they don't come home till January. Home being Washington D.C., right? So, yeah. They show up for a week in December sometime, to fight, and then they go home again.
Is there some method of compelling them to show back up to have a vote?
Well, yeah, it's going to go to court actually, because the woman from Arizona who won her election over a month ago hasn't been sworn in yet. So if they keep going in this way and not calling him, the reason she hasn't been sworn is because of the Epstein thing. She's going to be discharged petition 218th vote, so that the Epstein files will go to a vote and probably get released. So that's why they're not going. That's the real reason they're not coming back into the session, is they don't want to do that. So unless they not Gary Johnson, Mike, well, Magic Mike there, Johnson gets some more people to withdraw their signatures and discharge petitions to keep the Epstein files being released. That's what most people think. But the thing is, as this drags on, it's denying people the representation in Congress. And she's been 6 weeks now. It'll be 6 weeks next week, because they're going to be out of session next week. If it's going to go beyond that, and it looks like it will, then you're actually denying the American people the representation, and that's the reason we had a revolution in the first place. So I think it's going to go to the Supreme Court before then. She's suing right now, and it's going to happen to more people too, and they're going to be smart and bring up other things like just dereliction of duty. You're supposed to be there, man. We elect you to be there to represent us and handle things like this scandal, or with the ballroom, or the cessation of funding of SNAP. That's why we elect you and send you to Congress. You need to be there. If you're not there, it's dereliction of duty, and that's actually something the courts should handle. And it's going to come to a head soon. I mean, there are so many lawsuits starting right now. Different states are filing. It's inevitable, probably before Christmas, but probably after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are things that do need to change.
Quantitative disease in the chat saying that incorrect. The Supreme Court has ruled that Emergency Powers Act allows the president to do whatever the fuck he wants.
For it's a limited time. I think it's 30 days. So he's already gone past that. So you can call an emergency. So they really can call an emergency for, let's say, villains. Name of the country, El Salvador, for example, which isn't friends with that guy, but just pick one.
Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got.
You ain't hearing her, man. They cut her food stamps. Why? So why doesn't he declare an emergency right now?
Well, he has no power over spending. That's the thing. Like, so with the Quintal-Liv disease was saying.
Yeah, but what was that thing Obama
Powers
passed?
Act has nothing to do with SNAP.
What was that thing Obama passed?
Tariffs.
When Obama was in, they passed this thing. I don't remember specifically the name of the bill. They passed a bill, and it had to do with, everybody was all saying, he's going to take your food. He's going to come get your shit out of your house. He's going to take. The government has the ability to just snatch up all the food right now and pass it out.
Yeah, I was with the people against that at the time. I recall, I forget what it was called, as part of a bill. It was made against the law, technically, in some states. If they adhered to it, they got fought to grow vegetables in your front yard. Basically, it was things had to be inspected. I forget what it was called. It had to deal with things like raw milk and vegetables you're growing on your property and stuff like that. And it got a big kickback. Not kickback's the wrong word. Backlash at the time. I recall that. Yeah,
the government
I think
can
that got
just
modified.
Seize anything at any time. They could come in right now and take over Walmart. They could come in right now, take it over, and use all the logistics and all that. They could just say, come down to Walmart and get your food right now.
Yeah, in the short term, yeah, absolutely they can.
They could. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
it'll get fought out in court later, but yeah, they absolutely could do that in the short term. I mean, it's a Fourth Amendment problem. You know, the right to, we call the right to privacy is the right to be secure to people's persons and property, and other things related to that. And it's about quartering troops specifically that we did with the British that at the time, where the troops would come over, we had to put them up in our houses and feed them and stuff. And that's what the Fourth Amendment is based on. So, but that's what we consider the right of privacy and to be secure in our, our papers, persons, and property.
Mm-hmm.
So when they go take over Walmart, then that's the argument they'll use, the Fourth Amendment argument, to say, no, you took that, okay, you declared an emergency, but the emergency wasn't really real, so we get it back and you owe us, back pay, essentially.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Damages.
Let me ask you this now. If you were in a position to grow your own food for yourself and grow your own food.
I am.
Okay, let's just say you were. Okay, so that someone in the chat saying that that's a human right. It's Scott from New York saying it's human right for you to be able to grow your food in your yard and feed yourself. That's a human right. Okay, what happens when you remove people from growing their own food and get them on the processed food wagon? Now they don't know how to grow their own food, and they are completely and utterly dependent on the artificial food chain known as the food chain, the grocery store chain. So you don't know how to grow your own food. It'll take you 6 months to even grow anything right now, and even
you have
then,
to have land.
And even then, it's real. Isn't it going to start snowing there pretty quick?
Yeah,
You're growing food in the wintertime.
Growing season's just about over for us.
I mean, obviously, if you don't know how to can some shit, well, you're going to be sitting there with your rope in your hand, wondering what happened. You're going to be eating whatever, a shoe leather. Remember when they used to eat shoe leather? Now might be a good time to go on YouTube and find those old grandmas that were there during the Depression, and they had a bunch of Depression recipes. I mean, you know how
Great time.
You know how the pigeons got in New York? Is they used to raise pigeons to eat them like squab. Okay.
Yep, I was just gonna say squab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pigeons are tasty. I mean, who knows? You might see a whole bunch of pigeons disappearing over there.
Yeah, I think they actually outlawed that here now.
Well,
you're not allowed to eat the wildlife.
Ma'am, stop right. Y'all ain't hear me. They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just...
You think she's just gonna sit there? How long? No one's gonna... I'm telling you, this... we could be sitting here literally on the eve of destruction. Huh? I just think
It's
the
gonna
white
be
horse...
like they live, right?
The white
People
horse...
out, sleep on the street.
The white horse is going to find a way to come in there. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask it, because this is a question you got to ask yourself. Where's all these fucking billionaires? Where's Elon Musk with the food? Why isn't he throwing down some money for some food? How much food would $100 million buy? How much food?
Feed all 300 million people in America, for sure.
Food, 100 million would buy enough food to feed some
basic
people.
Commodities, yeah. Food, starch, rice, beans.
If you had a SNAP card, is there some law that he can't give the government money to feed people?
Nope.
Interesting.
No, that's what we were saying in the chat earlier about the Gilded Ballroom, for example. How many people would that feed? But I was thinking about it specifically when I was at the Vatican on that guided tour, that I had no idea I was so lucky to be on with the Jesuits at the time back in the 80s. The amount of stuff with gold, just leaf things and actual gold things I saw, I walked away disgusted by. Here's this church that's supposed to be this charitable organization that has all this stuff in it that could literally feed the world. Literally.
They know. I mean, let me tell you something. It's a critical path method, and that's what's going on. It's always going on. And this is like, they're talking about the nuclear option up in the Senate. This here is the nuclear option. Right here. This is probably, I don't know. You're
talking pull the rug out from society.
Exactly.
Like,
they're not fucking
no backstop.
Around. No. If this goes forward, they're not fucking around. They're all gone. They're sitting in New Zealand, and you're seeing nothing but fake AIs of everyone. They're all gone.
Yeah.
They're in the bunkers, man. They're in the
Right,
Bronx.
not the zombie apocalypse. The zombies are just hungry people. Yeah, that's a fact. Because that's why I always say anybody into survivalism will say
Y'all ain't hear
first thing
me.
you do is leave city.
They cut my food stamps.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, when shit hits the fan, you have to leave the city and get as far away as you can, as fast as you can. That is absolute fact. You do not want to be hoarded up in the center of the Bronx or something, man, where there's no food supply coming in. You know, you do not want to be there.
It's literally it's unfathomable, really, when you think about it. Don't you say? When you say rock?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
You know, this is kind of the. This has been the long-term plan all along, right? I mean, they got to bring down the society at some point.
Haven't they not tried this a million ways? I mean, isn't this what Manson was talking about? I mean,
That's exactly what Manson was. The race war option, yeah.
I mean,
the race war option, yeah.
This is just too much, really. And I mean, the thing is you're seeing, like I said, I just showed you a video, but those aren't the videos you're seeing the most of or having anybody talk about. Mostly what people are talking about is they want to point fingers at certain people. And you know, it just comes back to the question we asked before, which is when they made immigration the issue and things are going out of control, whose side is people going to be on? Because the gun owners might have to find themselves being on the side of the government. And it's the same thing with this.
Well, that's the temptation, right? They're going to pay the gun owners to be on their side, right? To be the enforcers. That's exactly what happened. You know, food for bullets, essentially. Yeah, that's right. They're already doing it with ICE. Like the people are getting a $50,000 bonus. People are completely unqualified to be in a law enforcement organization just to get bodies out the door and put them in body armor and give them a gun they never fired before. They're forgiving their student loans and give them $50,000 to sign up. And what they're counting on is that Stanford, it was several experiments where they had they had the people running the prison and the people, they're all students, and the people pretending to be the people incarcerated. And what happened, I forget the name of the experiment, but the thing was, the captors became so obsessed with being the captor, they got into it. There's a certain group of people who are masochistic, just like the voltage thing, where they give people the voltage and the people that were faking getting shocked, right? They can hear them scream and stuff. Same kind of thing. There's people who like that. It's like you're taking the bad guys from A Clockwork Orange and Alex and this gang, and you're making them your enforcers, just like they did in the movie. They became the police, right? Just like in real life, the brown shirts in Nazi Germany, the Gestapo, I forget, the Stasi in East Germany, all those things.
Well, we're getting ready to join Ground Zero Plus. It's into the microcosm. It's Revolution Radio, fully listener supported. Come on down and become supporters. We're asking questions tonight, and we're trying to get answers, but we don't know. We're going to open the phones up. But let's join Ground Zero Plus here. I think Chris was saying there's 800 people over there hanging. And nice. The boys are over there doing their thing on Beyond Zero, and I'm sure it's wild tonight over there. And but I mean, we're not really going wild over here. It's really not like a Halloween party tonight over here, is it? Because Rio, you're not into the Halloween now. Epic Journeyman, did you dress up? People got
I did not dress up. I dressed down. I'm sitting on my couch with just my shorts on right now. Well, I got my shirt on too. But,
people got Berettas.
Not to do this or anything.
People got Berettas under their sweaters over here. Chat. Oh man, it's all too much. It's all too much. Well, I mean, I don't know, man. Can we just avoid this situation? Is it possible to avoid? Is the Golden Toad gonna ride in on the white horse?
Well, I could think of a few ways to avoid these situations, but I don't want to get us banned from YouTube for saying the wrong thing.
You got to be careful no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on too, because like on Twitter, for example, or these AIs that they're giving away air quotes for free to try, that's all evidence against you. Everything you say. That's why I'm surprised I even.
It's not even can and will. It's
going to be.
It's going to be when the time is convenient.
Yeah. So us talking on the show, I mean, we're speculating, but what's to keep them from just, sampling our voice and having us say something we didn't even say, right? And put in an AI video that it generates, we have no way to disprove because there's no watermark, there's no evidence. It's all digital media, whether it's on YouTube or where they're generated. It doesn't know the difference, right?
That's true.
So how are you going to? It's a frightening time. It really is. Where the very war we're fighting is a war of reality, analog versus digital reality, as we often said.
We're hot.
Don't you want me to love you? I'm coming down fast, but I'm miles above you. Tell me, come on, tell me the answer. Well, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. You're helter-skelter.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low-rent, sleazy, double greasy Pirate Radio Nut Hut Studios, it's time for the very first ever
Hey, welcome, Ground Zero Plus. Mom's Jimmy. Hour number 1.5 is on the air. Maybe you heard him knocking tonight on your door. Rocket Rio, Epic German, did you guys have any trick-or-treaters over at your place?
Maybe. I wasn't home because, I ended up getting stuck.
Not here.
Going to work today, but nope, not a one.
Yeah. No, I didn't see a one either. What about you, Epic German? You see any trick-or-treaters over at your house?
None at my place.
No.
They don't come to my place in Big Island at all when I'm over there.
Well,
it's
tell us,
jungle, right?
Let us know in the chat. Did anyone in the chat see any trick-or-treaters at all?
I saw them at the store. That's all I'm out about.
I saw costumed people when I stopped at ShopRite on the way home, but so I'm sure people were out doing their thing.
Well, I don't know. This is the first time ever that we've done a show on Halloween, I think. Is it not? I don't ever.
I think
remem-
so. We did one the day before Halloween. I think
Yeah.
back like 5 years ago.
Right.
But yeah,
I just don't remember it. Ever doing one. Rock and Rio, do you remember any?
Not specifically, no.
No.
I mean, as long as we've been doing it, I'm sure there was at least one more. You know, just because of the, the calendar cycle. But
what was the mask show? I think the mask show was a Halloween show, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken though.
Yeah, that
but
could
I think
be.
that was the reason why.
That could
Yep.
be. It might have been the night before, though, right? A night
Yeah.
before. The night before, the night before. And now we are sitting on the brink of total destruction. We're waiting for the golden toad to ride in on the white horse and save everyone from this unfortunate disaster. Because, listen, let's be honest. What the fuck do we even need Congress and the Senate for at all? Because we're at a place where they're asking us for smart IDs. They're asking us for positive ID. Well, listen, man, if you got positive ID, then I can vote on this stuff just as simple as any of my senators or congressmen can. We used to send them up there, Rock and Rio, Epic Journeyman. They used to have to go all the way up there, ride horses, and take the message of the people up into the government for the area. To bring our concerns from each individual area, and bring it up there and vote like we would vote. Because we voted them in because they think like we do. Right?
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, what happened?
Represent us, our interests.
Yeah, what's happening?
They're representing themselves now because you're making all this.
Yeah.
I would
They're
feel
making your side hustle money. They don't give a crap about you.
I feel like the contract with America has been broken.
You are correct.
If the contract with America has been broken, then where are we? Because, if you break a contract with a customer or somebody that you made a deal with, deal's over. Then what? What happens then? I mean, honestly, you want smart ID, then let everybody vote on whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully educate people first.
So then
the thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, then you got to ask yourself, if they're not up there writing any of this, who's writing all these bills that are going through there? Are there people furiously sitting there, typing, banging their keys, crushing it out every day to put these bills together?
We're putting prompts in ChatGPT for.
They can't even. There's 900 pages. How are you supposed to read it? Oh, we pass it first, then we're going to read it. That's the famous line. We'll pass it, then we read it. And you don't
You
even
ever
know
notice how it's always 900 pages?
Yeah, well, that's because that's so you can't read it, right?
Yeah.
They propose something. They propose a list of nonsense that they want included, right? And they hand it off to the lawyers to make it illegible and long-winded. And
they got lobbyists.
They throw it back on the desk and say, "Okay, we're proposing this, and you got 2 hours to read it, and then we got to vote on it."
They got lobbyists cranking out these bills, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is that's where everything seriously where everything goes wrong is corporations are not people. See, if corporations are people, then they can lobby your congressmen and your senators.
But corporations can be people, and people can be corporations.
Citizens United.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
It's one of the best examples of doublespeak from 1984, right? Newspeak actually is Citizens United. It wasn't citizens; it was lobbyists who made corporations people. The citizens had nothing to do with it, but they named it something like Citizens United, which is the exact opposite of what it is, right? It takes rights away from the citizens and gives rights on equal rights, more rights to corporations and people.
Like the Patriot Act.
Because they have the money to do it. Yeah.
Like the Patriot Act, something like that.
It's exactly right.
You named
exactly
it
right.
the Patriot Act. So everybody wants to be.
Yeah, Daschle fought against that for years. He was the one that got the anthrax sent to him, if you recall.
Where are my patriots at? Throw your hands up in the
Yeah.
air like you just don't care. Are there still patriots out there?
Not by the definition we know of today. There are, but I think the patriots are the quiet masses right now trying to figure out what to do, because it's kind of stunning. You know, no, because everybody thought the guardrails would work, that things would hold out, that we had such a strong institution that our forefathers fought for, that it would hold the line. And it's not holding the line. There's a gilded ballroom being built, man. Come on. It's not holding the line. So that means it falls suddenly back on us. The light turns around, like you know, the Eye of Sauron back on us. What are you going to do about it? That's what I want to know, is the voice that's in everybody's head. What are you going to do about it? Right? Because the guardrails, Congress isn't helping. They're not doing their job. They're not even here. This is 6 weeks out right now.
People aren't even in a position to help other people. And that's where you're in a big situation, my friend. Because how long will food last in food banks? Do you remember the food banks during the Michelle Pfeiffer incident?
Yeah.
Remember the long lines? People were waiting for food, trying to get some food.
And charities ended up having to pick up the slack because they ran out. Yeah, that's right.
Well, and somebody's still got to go buy that food to supply the food bank, right?
And still ship it over there and still have the infrastructure to get it there. Yeah. Even if it's a church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't hear me.
Driverless cars.
They cut my food stamps. I ain't paying for none of this shit. I got babies at home that gotta eat. You think I'm just gonna leave my cart here? Hell no. I ain't paying nothing. I'm walking out with it. Try and stop me. Y'all ain't hear me.
Y'all ain't hearing her. So now,
I wish I wasn't seeing her. Yeah.
Now let me
see the picture.
Let me ask you a question now, Rio.
She looked like she could go a week without some food.
A couple weeks. A couple weeks, pretty safe.
See that you guys are harsh, man.
I know. Her babies don't deserve that. You know, she's right about her babies.
No, and that's what we were saying earlier. It's like, you know, no matter how you feel about it, you know, whatever your political viewpoint is on SNAP benefits, none of these kids, it's none of their faults. They're just alive in the world today. They just want something to eat. They just want something to eat, Ma. Man, can we get a sandwich? You know?
You got to save the magic of childhood by just not having them even know it's a thing, right? When your parents are homeless, they're camping. When you're getting the food, that's just the way it is, you know? So you have some of the magic of childhood. Don't take that away from kids. That's what makes childhood magic and special. Once you start doing that and exposing people to the horrors of the world at an early age, every place becomes Gaza, you know?
Well, listen, man, there's no nutrition in any of the food people eat. And so people can tend to stuff their faces with food because they're not getting anything out of the food they just ate. You're always hungry because your body needs some nutrition, which you're not getting from processed foods, you know?
Yeah, especially when it's gummy bears and ho-hos, right?
No, but Jimmy's right. You think about the lack of nutrition. Where are the most violent places in the world? They're nutrition suppressed. They're nutrition lacking. You think about the Somali pirates. They're all skinny, hungry guys running around trying to get food. You know, same with the people down in the Congo and all this stuff. It's all about down to literally gut level feeding themselves.
Well,
it's not about a political operation. It's a simple hand to mouth, day to day living.
I honestly, I
Here
think
it's definitely a political operation.
Dude, listen to me. It's a critical path method. Okay, they got to get to a certain place before they can institute the new situation. Okay, and the new situation is going to be universal income with crypto on the new financial system in the world. That's what's got to happen. So they got to get there somehow. They definitely don't want to crash out the stock market, do they? They don't want those people hurting. No. The working man.
Scheduled plan, right?
The working man has to pay the price, and working woman and working man, working they, whatever it is. If you're working, you're paying. Because listen, government shut down. Fucking, where's the freeze on our taxes coming out? Listen. I got a Christmas bonus the other day. I got taxed 37% on that shit. 37%, man. How much?
Crazy.
How much it was doesn't matter. All you got to know is 37%. 37 cents out of every one of my dollars went to the government. And the government is now going to allow this to happen? I mean, you broke your contract with me, man. You don't deserve to take the money out of my paycheck.
No.
Or anybody else's.
That's a fact.
I'm just saying.
Well, FEMA is a prime example, right? I mean, for the people who are surviving a hurricane and need help, the people who went through a fire like here in Lahaina, people who have the absolute need that we pay our tax dollars for, right? To have that kind of assistance when we need it the most, right? Only the federal government has the resources to handle, because states do not have the air, flights that can fly those kinds of things across the country and across the world to respond to that kind of calamity. You're paying for that, right? That's what we pay for that. That's what we're paying for. We're not paying just to finance the military, especially when it's not being used the way we want it to. It's being used with boats, speedboats in the Caribbean. So what are we paying for? So breaking the contract is also that. We're not getting what we need to, we expect out of our tax dollar. I mean, we expect to be taken care of as the richest country on the planet. We expect to be treated that way. We expect to have the kind of resources available to us the richest country in the world should have. We should have the best education. We should have the best food. We should have the best of everything. And we don't. But we should especially have the best when it comes to the time of emergency, the best response and the best, ability to take care of the people when they need it when they're at their worst and lowest point. And that's not happening. That's all being taken away. And just, what are we paying for then? What are we paying our taxes for? That becomes the essential question. If we're not getting what we expect out of the government for our tax money, why are we paying it in the first place?
Hey,
and that is going to bring it to a head.
If you're a member of Ground Zero Plus, go on over there to the chat room and take a look at that GIF that Barb made for the Chilluminati. That is cool, man. That is really cool. Thank you, Barb. Appreciate that very much. It's really cool. Really cool. All right, Rio, why don't you go over there to the Ground Zero chat and shout everybody out who's over there? Look, we got a bunch of people over here in the YouTube chat and the Microcosm Jimmy Jean on YouTube if you want to stop by. So if you find us using words like Michelle Pfeiffer, it's because we can't say what we mean, which is the incident that took place. Pfeiffer sounds almost like a drug company. So you can piece that together when we say the Michelle Pfeiffer incident. So if you want to join us on YouTube, come on over. But what's going on over in the Ground Zero chat? Who's over there? I'll shout these guys out over here.
Okay, well, Chris is in there.
Hey, Chris, what's going on?
Mark, Clyde, Mitch, Barban.
Hey, Barb, thank you very much.
Zox, Blaze, Steve from Southern California.
Hey, Steve, what's going on?
Bikowski.
It's good to have everybody.
Gage, Mad Catter, Thad, and a couple guests. The Internet Rebellion.
Well, listen, they're talking about the Hegelian dialectic over in the chat, citing David Icke, saying problem, reaction, solution. Yeah, man, problem, reaction, solution. What's going to be the solution? Is the white horse going to ride in? Save everybody at the last minute? I don't know. What can you actually do about aerosol disbursement when you see planes up in the air and there's barium, there's aluminum, so on and so forth? What can you do about it? You can shake your fist at the sky or whatever, but
yeah, I mean, unless you have a missile launcher, there's not really a whole lot you can do.
No, and that's like it's the same situation with this. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people in America that want to make sure that people have something to eat, but for some reason that ain't happening. You mean they can't just zoom in there? Can't they zoom in? Can't they all fly back because it's an emergency? Rock and Rio Epic Journeyman. Can't they fly back and appropriate some funds? So I mean, it seems to me like
they should.
It seems to me like certain people don't want that to happen. There's
$26 billion for SNAP benefits just sitting there, right? Almost $6 that's for SNAP specifically. Basically, it's discretionary spending. It's like a reserve that Congress has that can issue right now. Right, that'll feed this most of this month. It won't be everybody, and then there's another 20 some odd billion that's also on top of that. But we get $40 billion to Argentina. Explain that one. And just to get to
$8 billion to Ukraine too, right? So
yeah, but so $8 billion to Ukraine's a small amount compared. They're fighting the Russians compared to what do we give it to Argentina for? They're not fighting the Russians. They're not fighting anybody. They're just fighting their own economy, which they crash.
Well,
continue to crash.
Honesty, why are we giving it to anybody?
But that's my point. $40 billion would sure feed a lot of people.
Ukraine, Argentina, Venezuela.
I mean, there's a reason for it with Ukraine. I mean, if you believe in European nation, the European continent belongs to Europe, then you want to support Ukraine. You believe in freedom-loving people having the right to freedom in an American-style democracy, you want to support Ukraine. If you believe it should be spheres of influence where Russia runs the entire Eurasian continent and China owns, China, Eurasia, not Eurasia, I'm sorry, Oceania, everything else, and we get North and South America, these spheres of influence in a kingdoms of the earth kind of way, going back to the Victorian age, in times past beyond that, then you want to support that, where it's just monarchs and monarch rule. Well, we fought to evade that and got away and freed ourselves of that, and we're bringing it back because of why? Because people don't have the education to understand what we fought for in the first place.
No, and there's for a lot of people, a lot of young people, there's no sweat equity in what's been built already, because they were
didn't fight in D-Day.
Well,
yeah.
no, I'm just saying they were born into something that already existed. So to say I don't want it this way, or I don't like it, or whatever, and let it go and trash the past and all that, it's really no big deal to them, because they didn't build anything. They didn't build it. And so it's been built, and now it exists, and so people are living in a world that they didn't even create. So they don't
know how it was created.
I'm just saying, it's easy to throw something away if you don't have any sweat equity in it. In other words,
you're correct.
Go ahead.
I just want to point out they don't. I'm sorry to interrupt that. I just think it's so important to understand that it's education is at the crux of all this. People don't know. If their living memory, if their grandparents fighting World War II isn't there anymore, they don't have those stories, they don't watch those war movies, they're just growing up with their iPad. They don't understand what World War II is all about. They don't know who the bad guys were in World War II anymore, right? There's no Nazis had cool uniforms, basically, and Hogan's Heroes is cool. That's all they know, right? So not having the equity and not having the education to understand what we fought for to make this nation, the United States of America, so special, and to make it, as Reagan famously said, the light on the hill, the shining light on the hill, that the rest of the world tried to be like. If you don't have that anymore because you don't know why it's there and what it took to get us there, then what are you fighting for? You don't have the knowledge to know what you're fighting for. So you can't really be held responsible for not knowing because you never learned.
I'm kind of feeling that anybody, most and a lot of people, I don't even think they would fight for this country anymore. And it's already proven. I mean, in a way, you can already see that no one's fighting for their country anymore, because look at the condition everything's in. No one cares anymore.
I think you're right, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for you to be right. I don't want to say that. I just think, unfortunately, the weight of the situation is such. Yeah, that you don't want to be right. I don't want you to be right. I don't want to be right. Rio doesn't want us to be right. None of us in the audience want that to be true. But I think it is true, because there's no sweat equity, because you don't have the education and the understanding. Not only you, the audience. I mean, you is the society as a whole. The next generation of people don't understand what it took to get us here. I mean, you were dung rakers in some Duke's field in Europe, 200 years ago, and you were never going to get out of that, ever. We're only here where we are now because we fought for it to get here. We fought for our rights. We fought for this. And if you're not going to fight now, you're going to be in a techno-feudalistic society. We will never escape, where you're constantly monitored, surveilled from moment of birth to the time of your death, and you're not going to be able to fight it because you're not even going to know what you're fighting for, because you don't know there's something to fight for in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And Palantir just hooked up with NVIDIA. Go ahead.
It's going to end up being the next Revolutionary War at some point, right? When the people now that don't understand it are going to decide it's time for a change.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why you have people just openly declaring that they want communism or socialism.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'm not saying that a democratic republic is necessarily the best way, but it's a good way. At least you have representation, even if you're not in the majority, and that's the thing. You're supposed to.
It's still American, yeah.
Well, I said this to someone recently who happens to, I know, be positive on socialism, right?
Mm-hmm.
The person is Eastern European. I said, well, next time you go over to Eastern Europe, ask your grandmother, what it was like behind the Iron Curtain, and ask her if she really thinks you should live like that,
No.
And she was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, what I'm telling you is that socialism sucks. you're not going to like it when it gets you.
Well, it's just like our friend Kev Baker. You know, when he was sick and he was going to have some work done, some medical work, and they told him that he had to quit smoking cigarettes. And so they said that he had to take this medicine to make him, to help him quit. And he had to do it because in socialist medicine, you got to do what they say, or else you don't get the rest of it. So if they say quit smoking and you got to take this drug, Chantix, you got to take it, then you got to take it. You don't have a choice. You got to quit smoking, or else they're not gonna help you with your other thing. So he was forced to do it.
He had a bad reaction to it.
And
he
did have a bad reaction to it. Lots of people do. I did. They tried to give me that when I had cancer. I started taking it, and then I realized what it was. It was an antidepressant with a side effect that made you not want to smoke.
Yeah.
So,
You may not want your cigarettes, but you're going to want to go off yourself because you're serious depression, right?
Yeah,
but that's harmless. Don't worry about it. Yeah. At least you won't be smoking when you do it.
All right. Well, listen. I think what we should do is open up these phones and see if we can get some reports from around the country, hear what's going on. Maybe there's some people out there that are on Snap. Yeah, go ahead.
They spend all their Snap money for trick or treats. Yeah, for the kids. I can see that.
718-618.
Some people would do that.
9905 is the number to call. 718-618-9905 is the number to call. Yeah, I know. Martin, I know. Yeah, I just didn't want to get into any of the, deep personal part of it. I just was talking about specifically that incident with the
how socialized medicine works,
well,
right?
Yeah, well, in Canada, if you got something wrong with you, how long does it take to go get in and see a doctor?
It doesn't take that long to see a doctor. It takes longer to get to specialized treatment, right?
That's what I mean.
The way it works. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's here if you can afford it or you have the insurance for it, right? If you get diagnosed with something, you can go get treatment right away.
Yeah.
Canada, it might take you 6 months before you're allowed to get the treatment, even though you've already been diagnosed with something that'll kill you in a year.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Yeah.
It seems like everywhere we turn, we're getting paid. We're paying, but we're not getting what we paid for. We're not getting what we paid for, and like I said,
Sweet Card Monty, yeah,
37%.
It's a shell game.
37% tax on my bonus, and I ain't getting.
It's never explained why.
Right?
I'm
just saying, if the government shut down, then quit taking shit out of my check. Why am I paying you? Why am I paying taxes if you're shut down?
Yeah, we shut down that's what I've said the entire time. Is our best form of protest is to not pay our taxes, and I mean that legitimately. Like that's the way you fight a revolution without a shot being fired. Is you actually just deny them your income.
Well, how do you?
You have to pay it later, of course, right? But you have penalties or whatever. But you don't have to pay them your taxes this year or next year or year after that.
So you
just have to. So yeah.
So you go to your company and you say, "Hey, man, quit taking taxes.
Give me my W-4. Give me my W-4. I'm going to claim exempt." Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing that keeps you from doing that. And business owners do that all the time. Not all the time, but a lot of business owners do that. Where they run their own business and they also work because they run their own business and they're going to file taxes for their business separate. And they just do it that way. So there's no deductions for the federal government from your taxes. You file at the end of the year for everything. So do that. It's a right we all have. You can do that. There's nothing stopping us from doing that. And it's not state bound. So no matter what state you're in, it doesn't matter what political party or whatever affiliation you have, everybody can do that.
You're being escalated to red level 5 right now.
I know. I'm just saying. Well, I actually have friends who did that. It made it harder a little bit now that it used to be. You used to be able to claim like 9 exemptions, whatever. You can't do that anymore. And that's how I kind of got to 0 without really being 0. But it made a change like 2 years ago. But the thing is, they did this back in the 70s. They were protesting, and their premise was great actually. They were trying to protest against war and nuclear weapons specifically. And what they said was, if we don't have a right to say where our money gets spent, specifically, And we we're conscientious objector to this kind of spending for this thing. Because they were Vietnam War protesters, essentially. That was the way the tack that they took. We're not paying taxes. The movement grew pretty big, and that whole family, they're my best friends still to this day. Their parents started, and their kids are still on SSI to this day. They got lifetime SSI. They got arrested, and they got told, "You stop now. You're going to jail for however many years, or we'll pay you." As a deal. It's a deal. We'll pay you all guys SSI just to quit. And they did. That or jail, right? They could still work, right? But they got SSI. So that's the kind of bargains like the Nixon administration, I believe, was at the time made. It's weird to think of now, but that's the kind of thing they did.
What's on the horizon for people on Social Security? Are they going to get their money?
Well, it's our money. I mean,
no, I'm just saying, are they going to get their money on the 1st or whatever, the 15th, whatever it is?
Yeah, no, they get it. They get it. It's a separate fund. It's not discretionary. So there's non-discretionary spending and discretionary spending. Non-discretionary spending is Medicaid, Social Security, and Medicare, and that's we pay that with a separate tax. It's not part of federal income tax. It's completely separate. So Congress has no right to take that money.
It's the top of the hour. It's Ground Zero Plus. It's Revolution Radio. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. My name is Jimmy. It's into the microcosm. That's Rock and Rio. That's Epic Journeyman. Here comes the Who.
February.
(718) 618-9905 is the number to call. Number 4 on TalkStream Live. What's up, TalkStream Live? We're talking about the government being shut down. Why are they still taking taxes out of your check, man?
The sun shines, people forget. The spray flies, speedball glides, and people forget they're hiding. The girls smile, people forget. The snow cracks and the skid tracks. People forget.
Sprinter One Boy in the chat saying, he's asking a question. Are we at the tipping point?
It's an imminent fight. It's an imminent fight. So put it on.
718-618-9905 is the number to call. We're looking to hear about what's going on in your neck of the woods. Maybe you're on Snap, maybe not. Maybe you got a feeling about it. Want to get your opinion, see what's going on, and I'll scroll around here on the internet, see if I see anything. Any breaking news. 718-618-9905 is the number to call.
Dressed to kill. Won't you come and join the party? Dressed to kill. Dressed to kill. Drinks flow.
Any takers, rock and reel? What's up, Rudy? Thank you. Any takers, rock and reel? Anybody got a pair?
No, not yet.
No. Well, it's a touchy subject, man. What are you gonna do? You know. I mean, I guess you know, it might be time to, you know, dig into some of that storable food. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't.
Back road is bad.
I didn't go to the store today and stock up on a bunch of food. You know, but I did consider the other day. I was sitting there thinking, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what would stop a whole gang of people and trucks, you know, people in the back bed of their trucks with guns, machine guns, just going on any old neighborhood, any old grocery store. The place where you live is not really the city, you know, it isn't a city, but who's to stop roving gangs? I mean, isn't that like Mad Max?
No, who's to say they're not going to come around just shopping?
And the morals that they worship will be gone. And the men who spurred us on sit in judgment of all wrong. They decide and the shotgun sings the song. I tip my hat to the new Constitution. Take a bow for the new revolution. Smile and grin at the change all around. Pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again.
There goes The Who. Vocals only, though. Roger Daltrey. I guess they decided to let the shotgun sing the song, huh? I mean, I remember the riots in Los Angeles after the Rodney King verdict. There was people on roofs exercising their constitutional rights. Remember the rooftop Koreans? They weren't having none of that.
Rooftop Koreans.
Now, is that, you think that's going to be what you're going to see now? You think you're going to see, people exercising their constitutional rights, protecting Walmart from getting shoplifted from?
I like to think something different is going to happen. I like to think we'll have a return to flower power in a sense. We'll have a hippie revolution. We'll have music. Like the thing that made the 60s and 70s and the Cultural Revolution work wasn't just the drugs, and it wasn't just the hippie lifestyle and the free love and all that kind of thing. All that certainly played a role, and it was designed that way, and we can talk a lot about that and have in the past. I think it also is the fact that people on their own made their own art and their own look, their own, way, new way of looking at the world. And in specific, in a big part of that was the music. So we need our own new protest music. That's what we need. We need our own, not just protest music, but the voice of a new generation. And we don't need AI to make it. We don't need to have sampling. We don't need to have, replays of old things. We need people to actually get out and make their feelings known through the best expressive form ever created by man to this day, which I think is music.
Well,
that's how I feel about it.
I mean, that'd be all well and good and everything. But I mean, realistically at this point, where do people get airplay where it would be, repetitive programming like it was?
It's the old way. Yeah. You have to go tour.
Well, I'm just saying, there's so many choices for music at this point because there are no gatekeepers keeping people from getting their music up on YouTube. So anybody can get their music up on there and, who knows? But that's the thing. When you have all these choices, it's hard to make a decision.
No choice.
Exactly. It's true. It's exactly like having no choices. I mean, there's too many choices,
Paralysis through analysis. Too many choices is a lack of action.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
And we're being flooded that way. That's exactly what's happening. That's how the news cycle works. Like the news cycle in today's society works in such a way here in America, where everything's an outrage economy. It's the attention economy. The attention is based on outrage. It's an extreme level. And so when people are outraged and they're your attention is, the shiny object. That moment that gets them outraged. The next day, something new's come along and distracted them. They have time to think and settle down and contemplate the very thing they were upset about in the first place. To where you forget what you're upset about and just get obsessed and addicted to the narcotic effect of being outraged in the first place. Right? And that's how it works. That's what's being used right now. This is the way American society is working right now, and it's hard to evade it because no matter where you go, there's an angle in. There's a taste of that free drug from this deal around the corner that you're getting offered that is just enough to get you into that particular mechanism that's being used. And once you're in it, it doesn't matter if it's media in the television atmosphere. It doesn't matter if it's online on YouTube. It doesn't matter if it's music. It doesn't matter what it is. It's been covered on every base. And as AI grows and gets better, it's going to be specifically targeted more demographically, psychographically, and towards you specifically. Weaponized psychology is a weapon being used against us, and we are way late to the game in realizing it, as we know here on the channel. That
very well may be, but what'll happen, I think, is people will just stop going to the internet. I mean, once things get flooded to the point where, just like the alternative media got flooded, once the whole internet is flooded with this different AI music and these AI covers and all this other stuff, I mean, I think it's going to be more of a pay-per-view type of situation because we're moving into that era where you'll be paid when you're paid at a job. You won't be paid by the week or by the month or every 2 weeks. You'll get paid every minute.
But by your input, your participation, your attention,
I'm just saying,
in which you add.
And your money will be coming to you at every single minute because the amount, it costs a lot of money to put your paycheck in the bank. And so that whole system is changing. And so you'll be paid by every minute, but you'll also pay for every minute. When you're on the internet, you're surfing the internet. Yeah, you can watch that video over there, but you're going to have to pay every minute with micropayments. Remember we talked about the 402 era on your...
Oh, yeah, totally. It's gone. The new internet's going to be based upon this very thing where it's a subscription life model. You want the good air, you want the good place to live, you want the good content, you're going to pay more. If you want to be rewarded by cheaper rates, you do what the government says or whoever's in control of that particular thing you're trying to get. So, it's very much the carrot and stick thing used to the extreme, but digitally.
Yeah, there'll be some sort of snap benefit for your internet surfing. Because like I say, you're going to pay for everything by the minute. If you want to read that article, you might have to pay for every word in the article. It's a 3,000 word article. Boom. You're going to pay some micro payment for each word that you read.
Or the time you spend reading it. Yeah. Can you imagine like that people don't have the reading comprehension skills they used to in the past? They have to read more careful to understand it, and they have to pay a penalty for taking 10 minutes to read it instead of 5. I could totally see that. I really see the air thing being a big deal, or like the actual environment you live in. You're going to pay for the better everything, the better food, the better air, the better air quality, whatever, you know what I mean? Like that's going to come to that. I think. I wish it wasn't true, but I think it is.
Well, I mean, if they could charge every oxygen molecule that you need to breathe to stay alive,
they would
figure out a way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so 402, payment required, a web status code originally reserved for online payment systems. It's rarely used today, but conceptually, it was meant for cases where a user must pay before accessing certain online content or services. Some blockchain or micropayment systems have revived the interest in this code. This is what I'm telling you is going to happen. Okay? This will be the way that it is in the near-term future. Now, do you remember the movie Idiocracy? Do you remember there was a point where the dude was someone was surfing the internet and it was all ads and pop-ups? Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it'll be like if you're not making those micropayments. You'll be on the government-issued internet where you can still surf it, but you
still see it. Just it takes you longer to filter through everything to get to what you want.
Yeah, it'll be like being on a 56K modem.
There's so many ads on here now, it's almost like that already.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so.
Speaking of that, minor diversion. Did you see that that Putin had authorized satellites to broadcast advertisements from space into the atmosphere?
No.
This happened last week. Yeah. So it's not just the Soviet Union. So basically, it's going to be this idea of these billboard projectors in orbit. These satellites are actually going to project these images. And of course, it's not going to be advertising. We're talking, this is a Project Bluebeam kind of thing, isn't it? But into the atmosphere is a billboard. And he proved it. I don't know how good the technology is. I suspect it's quite good. But will we see it here? I mean, I can see that being a tipping point of war, right? You're showing something in the sky over America, right, that we didn't authorize. We might get pissed by that. Government even, So we'll see. I thought it was interesting. That was a little headline from last week. I'm like, what? It kind of slipped by. I thought I latched onto it a little bit because the very fact it's even being discussed is something that you can do, and being authorized by an official government is amazing.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been spending a lot of time over since Trump's been in office, and maybe just a little bit before. I've been spending a lot of my time looking into the future of commerce and the future of money. And we are moving into that future at a quick pace. It's almost unbelievable at this point. And I don't know how they're going to get to that moment where it transfers over, but there's a lot of people getting ready for this all to happen, and talking about it happening almost immediately, like within the next year or so. You can see everything change as far as we're concerned. And I mean, honestly, under the current circumstances with the type of inflation that we're having, so the Fed just lowered rates the other day, 25.25, and said that they're going to begin quantitative easing, basically. And they're saying that quantitative tightening may start at the end of December. But for now, they're going to just print some more money. So I don't know whether that'll be very good for our buying power, as the dollar is seeming to be weaker and weaker. And so there is no inflation attached to any of these cryptocurrencies. So potentially you could see, like we've talked about in the past, suppositions that we've made about scenarios and way things might move in the future. If you got your cash in the bank, you can trade it over for the new currency and get some other benefit, say 25% more or 50%, whatever.
Travel points for your airline or whatever.
Whatever it is, you get, and you have a certain amount of time to cash that in. If you wait past a certain period of time, it gets less and less until eventually your money's worth nothing, your cash, because they moved everything to a different system. And
well, like in India, yeah.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Well, no, the Prime Minister Modi, right, is his name, a couple years back, it made it illegal to carry bills over equivalent of what we call a $20 bill, basically, today here in America. And they had a certain amount of time to turn all that paper money in, the new currency, or it wouldn't work anymore. And so it was a way that, there's a lot of impoverished people, as we all well know, in India that had hordes of cash. Some of them still had that. They weren't wealthy, but that was how they saved their money, right? And it was a way to do what they wanted and stay off the government's radar. But that was denied them because they had to keep it. They had to turn it in. But I was thinking about what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Before we all hooked up on Teams, when you were doing the intro on YouTube, I remember you talking about the Sphere in Las Vegas and how all these people aren't going there. And the reason is because it's so expensive, right? I'm going there, and I was going to go there earlier on my vacation when I was just on the mainland. And it was $1,000 for a decent seat. The minimum decent seat was like $700. And you can be on the outskirts of where you don't get the best effect, but you're like the teacher rows in a baseball park. It's like $279. But you don't want to be that. You want to be where you can experience the whole thing. And this thing about Putin and the broadcasting from satellites got me thinking that the very idea of the Sphere and using this whole thing as a platform to immerse yourself in experience inside the Sphere, when you have these satellites in place, aren't they doing that to the actual sphere of the globe? Can you not do that to the entire atmosphere of the planet? Like, if you think about it, isn't that the Sphere on a mega scale? I just thought about what we're talking about it. I'm thinking, that's horrifying. Actually, because it would reach everybody. There's nothing you can do about it. You're seeing it with your eyes, right? You're experiencing it with your eyes. It's not like you're going to VR. It's not like you're joining a subscription service. It's not like you're someplace you can walk away from. It's the very sky you look at, right? And you're immersed in experience by those who control that space, the literal space above us.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all that, but I do know this. It's Into the Microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus. It's Revolution Radio. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. We're happy to be here. We're happy you're here with us. And the number to call is 718-618-9905. If you want to get in touch with us, give us your thoughts about the new golden age.
And seal your fate forever. Our best years have passed us by, the golden age of leather.
718-618-9905 is the number to call. So micropayments are tiny digital transactions often fractions of a cent to a few dollars, used for pay-per-view, pay-per-article content. Streaming services, pay per second or pay per byte. Internet of Things and machine-to-machine communications. Devices paying each other for bandwidth or for energy. API access developers paying for micro fees per call. And decentralized networks, Web3 apps, Lightning Network for Bitcoin, IOTA, and Coil. So, Interledger Protocol, ILP, was developed by Ripple engineers and enables streaming money across any network. Used by Coil and web monetization APIs allow browsers to pay creators automatically when a page is open. Example, a user might pay 0.0001 cent per second while reading or watching content. So that's what the 402 has been reserved for. It's been reserved for this particular moment in time. We're going to make this transition to digital money. And it's coming. There's no way you can... JP Morgan just announced that they're going to open up a platform next year to trade crypto. You see that some of the bigger exchanges are hooking up with banks. Citibank is one of them. So, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background. Seriously, if you're a working person, you're not really paying attention to it. Don't even know that it's going on. But it is, and at some point, you're thinking you're using money, your old money, but really it's the new money. How will you know? What's the difference? Unless you go to the bank and actually take out cash. Cash doesn't exist for a lot of people. Cash is dirty. Every single time I pay with cash at Starbucks, I get this weird look from people. It's like
from back in the pandemic, yeah. Because it stays on the bills. Remember that? They said it's like ridiculous amount of time potentially stay on there.
Yeah. Well, unbeknownst to people, they make that with a certain kind of paper that doesn't allow germs to be on the money.
Yeah, right. But they don't know that because they don't have an education.
But irrespective of that, what I'm saying is more or less, it seems like it's more of a hassle. It's like you got to reach out, grab the money.
Count change, right?
Count change, put it in the drawer, touch the dirty, I don't know. Anyways, so cash is out, man. Digital money, that's where it's at from now on. Man, you can actually sell fractions of investments. Like if people could buy a piece of your house if they wanted to. You could say, Epic, you could go, hey, I got this house over on the Big Island, and I'm selling micro stakes. And then as your real estate value goes up, your stakeholders, enjoy a little bit of profit off their investment, no matter how small. So I don't know. It has potential, I guess. I think the most biggest problem that everyone has with it is the fact that it's controllable. And but isn't your bank account controllable now? I mean, isn't it really just ones and zeros already, for the most part?
It is.
I mean, and I've said it before, like that fee that you pay at the ATM, that's to print out the 20s. It costs $3.50 to print out that $100 worth of. It's probably your $100 is probably worth about $3.50 at this point. 718-618-9905 is the number to call. Exactly, they do require electricity, and that's what we were talking about earlier. What happens when you turn over all the work over to these machines, and all of a sudden one day the electricity stops, and you can't rely on those machines to do everything they did before? Now what? Who's going to do it all? Where's your trained workforce? They all went away, didn't they? They just faded off. They faded.
Idiocracy. Unscannable. Remember Idiocracy? Yeah, that's how it'll be.
Yeah. Rock and Rio. 718-618-9905. What do you think, man? Are we here? What's going on? I haven't scrolled the internet to find anything yet. Is there anything going on around the world? Coast to coast and around the world, no matter what day, time it is. What's going on out there, man? Any news? Anything going on? I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna scroll right now. Let me see. I'll go over to YouTube and see what's going on over there. There's got to be something. Let me see. No. It's a bunch of shorts of people saying, give me my food stamps, basically. I don't see any people storming stores and rolling out with a bunch of shopping carts. What about you guys? You seeing anything?
I haven't scanned while we were on the show, but I do recall, like I said, prior to the Ground Zero joining here, that what I did look at was all the fake ones that are out there. Like, there's so many fake videos made with AI of people, saying all these, things that you can't tell the difference whether they're real or not. And that's really where we're at. It's like the Running Man. Remember the Running Man? Ben Richards had his showdown with what's the wrestler's guy's name? They killed him off, in the ring.
Yeah.
But that's all real now. Like, it's really like that. They can kill us all off, if they wanted to, hypothetically. But it's not that. It's just that our very definition of reality is being subject to change.
What about the biggest?
How do you trust what you see?
What about the biggest internet outage in history the other day?
Yeah, it was interesting. What was the source? We ever find out?
I don't know. I think it happened again too. It happened the second time. So I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's about to happen? I don't know. Today's the day, though. Today's the day everyone's been talking about for a few weeks.
Halloween, or no, Snap ending.
Yeah,
Snap ending.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious. I mean, it's a constitutional crisis in a way because the money's there. They can spend the money. They can keep it floating for another month. There's no reason for them not to. Not only is no reason for them to, by law, the law they made, that being Congress, they have to do it. They have that discretionary spending there to spend, and there's no reason for them not to do it. The only reason not to is because they're not in session right now. It's an ultimate cop-out. I can't believe all this, man, we're watching right now. I never thought I'd see a day when Congress just went home. Not even taking their ball and going home. They just went home. They're not there. They're not even there. No. Why did we send them there? What are we paying them? They should be the first people not to get paid. Honest to God, right? They represent us. Why? If they're not doing their job, we shouldn't pay them. That's the first bill I'd put forth if I was ever in Congress.
I heard some clips, and I don't know if they were taken out of context, and I don't think they were because they're minutes long of people saying, "Hey, well, we know people are going to get hurt, but we need to use this for our leverage right now for healthcare." So I mean, this is they're playing games with the American people, and I think they've broken the contract with America.
Absolutely.
Not just here, but in many ways, Rock and Rio. In many, many ways. Wouldn't you say? I mean, where's your freedom of speech, man? Rio, did you still have your freedom of speech there somewhere? I can't find mine.
it's the fear to speak, right? I mean, it's not the freedom of speech; it's the fear to speech. If that makes sense.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, because people, I mean, they self-regulate, they self-censor because they don't want to be held accountable for something they said in the future when they can't trust the government, they can't trust the Justice Department, they can't trust the institutions that are there to protect us that we fought so hard to have. I mean, if it's not a level playing field anymore, we don't have a place to go, when, to have our objections and the things that have been done to us that are wrong handled in a court of law. The law doesn't exist, and the law doesn't exist. We don't have a society. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. It's a societal breakdown at the fundamental level. I just don't get how we can let that happen to us. I don't think we are. But the government itself, and we're not talking about partisan politics, we're just talking in general, right now is allowing that to happen by their inaction and not being there for the very job we elected them to do. Congress it's a shameful thing. It's been historically good on history, is the worst moment in our history thus far as representation by the House of Representatives goes. And I can't believe that it's not reported at a higher level than it's being reported by either side right now. It's an absolute violation of the contract, not with America, but their constitutional oath.
718-618-9905 is the number to call if you want to get a hold of us. I'm trying to get a hold of Rio. Rio, you still there? He's got to answer the phone. So I don't know, maybe he stepped off to get some coffee. I don't know. I do know
coffee's expensive,
I know. It's getting even more expensive as we speak. The price is going up, and we're going to have to see.
I'm lucky I'm in Hawaii, man. We have good coffee here. It's not going up. But yeah, it sucked to be like in some place like in Nebraska or something right now. We have to import all your coffee. And even your UBAN decaffeinated coffee is going to cost more. I mean, if there's ever been a better time to wean yourself off of coffee addiction, I can't think of one. It's like cigarettes, right? It is. It's like cigarettes. It's going to be that expensive. You're going to have to go to the 7-Eleven and pay $4 a cup for a coffee. We're not already. How much is coffee in California now at the 7-Eleven or convenience store?
It's 7-Eleven is the same price as Starbucks, because once they figured out you'll pay $3.50, they're like, well, why didn't we charge?
Oh no, yeah, because what I left in 2017 was like $1.30.
No,
in 7-Eleven, yeah.
No, it's the same price as. It's the same price as Starbucks.
Awful.
You get it a lot quicker too, because you can just
it's
go
probably
in there
better
and grab it and leave. You go to Starbucks, man, you're going to be standing there for at least 10 minutes waiting for just a regular old cup of coffee. Seven 618-9905. Give Rio a call. Wake him up. 718-6.
Misty morning, clouds in the sky. Without warning, a wizard walks by. Casting his shadow, weaving his spell. Long gray clothes, twinkling bell. Never talking, just keeps walking. 'Cause in his magic.
I still don't see anything. Maybe it's all gonna be all right. I guess we'll find out.
I think it will be, because nobody expects their payment before Monday now anyway. And Monday they have to go back to court and say why they're not paying the benefits. And they're going to lose. I mean, obviously you have to pay. The money's there, right? So for this month at least, to get us through November, it's already there. There's no reason for it not to go out. It's going to be delayed a couple days. And I think most people know that or suspect it. If it doesn't, though, yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, it's people who depend on SNAP and are, the thing about this that a lot of people aren't catching about the government shutdown is that it's not just like things like SNAP. The SNAP's going to hit people in the stomach where it hurts the most, but it's also things like childcare. They get the supplemental things for childcare, and those people they're not going to be able to go to work because they can't take their kid to childcare and drop them off. And so that's a bigger hit to the economy because there's a whole group of people probably equal in size rather to the people who are losing their SNAP benefits that depend on that to have their babysitting while they go to work, right? Have daycare. And if they can't have the daycare, they can't go to work. And that's a whole draw on the economy. It's going to cause another asset
what about
to
these
fail.
What about these stores that are all getting these SNAP dollars every month?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like we're talking earlier, like the restaurants who aren't getting attended by because people are cutting back, right?
Well, I'm not even talking about cutting back. I'm saying that every month, okay, there's 42 million people that go into a store with a SNAP card and spend money.
Right.
And now
they're not spending it there.
Right. Now they're not spending it. So what is that going to do to those? What is that going to do to these chains and these stores? How much
and
of
the
a
farmers
dent,
who supply the food, right?
How much of a dent is that going to put in it?
$42 million worth. That's basically a fifth of the
42 million people. They're not spending $1. They're spending, what did you say, $179 for your uncle?
On average, yeah.
Okay, so
he might be more now, but that's what he got when he first came out there. So I think that, and that's here in Hawaii. One of the guys in chat was saying it's $249 where they are in California. Let's even put it that it's an easier math number to deal with. But you take that away from a store times 1,000 people, that's $250,000 for that store. It's not coming in.
Well, just say, okay, so say 179, go low, 179 times 42 million.
Yeah, right.
That's how much
money.
That's how
and
much
now the
money.
farmers aren't getting paid, and now the truckers aren't getting paid to ship the stuff there, and the whole thing just goes out in a spiral, death spiral because of that. Yeah. It doesn't take much, man. Profit margins are so small to be competitive in a capitalist society to begin with that losing a couple percentage points is huge. We're talking about 20% of the economy here, and we're talking about food. 20% of the economy, not talking about restaurants, but we're talking about the food chain. No pun intended, not like the natural food chain. The food chain for grocery stores and for that kind of thing. And the truckers and the farmers, everybody supports it. We're taking 20% out of the economy. 20%. That is far bigger than any profit margin any of those places make, whether it be the transportation industry or the grocery store industry or the farming industry. They can't absorb that. They can't. It's huge.
$179 times 42 million is $7.518 billion
a month.
A month.
Yeah.
$179 is, we're not even figuring the full benefit.
2 aircraft carriers, to put it in perspective.
Well,
for military people, two full-on complementary aircraft carriers.
Take into perspective the bottom lines of these corporations that are taking in that money. What's happening to their bottom line if this doesn't go through? Do you see what I'm saying?
Any business you take 20% away, what's it going to do? 20% is huge. No business can stay a business.
I'm just saying.
Maybe Apple.
Do you think these corporations are just going to lay down and not let there be SNAP benefits coming out? No. That's a lot of money, and they're not going to sit around and not make their money.
It's too much. It's the base that everything's built upon. The entire consumer-driven economy is based upon those people being able to support the economy at the very lowest tier. If you take that away, then everything that's built on top of that has no basis. It's going to drop down a tier, if that makes sense. The steps of the pyramid drop down one each time that happens. So the cost, the actual living style of those upper tiers of people in society drop by that step as it fades away. And eventually it just collapses and there is no structure anymore.
So
right? That's where it eventually gets to.
That's only 42 million people. That's not the rest of the other people that aren't on SNAP.
Right,
how much money they're spending? How much money they're spending every month? Times, what do we say? 150 million people are workers bringing in, bringing in bread.
There's 100 million kids basically. There's 100 million kids. There's 150 million active people, making a profit essentially in the economy. gainfully employed. I won't say they're all gainfully employed. Some of them are minimum wage, but I'm just saying like that actually making a mark. And then the rest are either housewives or stay-at-home dads or whatever, right? Or infirmed or old or retired. So we're talking about 150 million active workers, talking about 100 million kids. So there's 100 million people who are dependent on society for the thing that they earned while they were alive, the retirement fund or Social Security, the things that are earmarked for that non-discretionary spending that we pay separate taxes for. That's our retired people on disability or people collecting disability. So that's basically a third, not quite a third. It's a little less than a third. It's like I don't know, 2/5. Well, I said that wrong. That's worse. I did my math wrong. But anyway, basically, it's just call it a third that aren't contributing to the economy, right? They're dependents because they paid their dues already.
SNAP benefits 42 million people times 179 monthly is 7.5818 billion a month. SNAP population spends 1% to 1.5% of what the working population spends monthly. Do you hear that?
Yeah, right. So in other words, one's just literally food to mouth. The other's what we call discretionary spending in Congress. It's entertainment spending. We're spending at restaurants and things like that. But when you take away the very pillar that's built on, because it's supplying, the profit margins for the agricultural industry are based upon food for everybody, not just the restaurants, right? Those people collecting SNAP benefits are the same thing. You take that, which is 20% away, then that's 20% a hit on the restaurants too.
Spend on groceries per month. 150 million people. I'm asking.
Well, that's a lot.
I'm asking ChatGPT.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll give a guess, see if I'm good with the chat. I'm going to say it's in a month, 150. Oh wow, yeah, the billions and billions. That's times 100 is 15 billion. I'm going to say 20 billion a month, about easily.
How is that possible when they're making 7 trillion a month off just SNAP? If that number's 7 trillion, then how do they get to these other low numbers? They're saying
it's not true. Yeah, obviously it's not true.
400 billion per
unless we're
month.
talking about their impacts to the economy that are, yeah. And it's kind of playing with numbers that makes politics terrible, because or advertising is the same thing. Propaganda terrible is you can paint a number any way you want it to be, and inflate or deflate the number to fit your point of view.
To 1.5%, then what is the total 100% spending? It's bullshit.
What would it give you?
Oh, it's changing itself from trillion to billion.
That's what I'm thinking. Is billions, yeah. So I'm thinking it's if everybody spends an average of 200, which is going low, then it's
it says
30 billion a month.
It says right
like
here,
in my head.
150 million people collectively spending each month to compare against the 7.58 billion figure. So, hold on.
Well, no, 7.85, but it's answering wrong. That's what SNAP spends every month.
Right.
So 7.85 billion is what SNAP benefits are.
Right, it's not trillion, it's billion.
Right, for just SNAP. Right, exactly. Not everybody else. If you took everybody else who's not on SNAP and you took that 150 million people times an average of 200 million, it's 30 billion a month, right? Is that correct? No, or 300.
It's saying
To do the math, I don't have a calculator. My head's not working properly. That'd be 300 billion.
Low cases, 450 billion a month.
With decimal.
Mid cases, 675 billion a month. High cases, 900 billion a month.
There you go. Yeah, I was using 200 billion. That's why I said 300. But yeah, that's right. So if you spend $200 a month, as 150 billion people, it's 300 billion a month. But most people spend more than 200 billion a month in groceries. So the 350 is probably the low end. In the high end, 900 for people who spend a lot. Yeah, almost $1 trillion a month by people just spending money on food. With 20%, now go back what I was saying, take 20% of that away, because the bottom tier isn't spending that money anymore. The agriculture industry isn't able to sustain that loss. The supermarkets aren't able to sustain that loss. Nobody's able to spend 20% drop in their income. No business. No business has a profit margin that high, other than something like maybe Apple or Nvidia or something.
Rio, are you back, Rio?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did somebody call you?
No.
I was giving out the number to try to wake your ass up.
No, there have been no calls.
718
It's Halloween.
9905.
This guy is a wakeful person. Yeah.
There he goes.
No.
No, Rocket Rio works his ass off every day.
He does.
He had
Yeah,
to work
absolutely.
today, even though he's not supposed to work Fridays, and then he had to deal with a whole situation.
Yep.
These contractors, man. Contractors.
Yeah, I mean, you have to forgive me. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, and it's now 2:45 here. So
yeah,
totally relate.
I'm on a 22-hour day right now.
Yeah.
Yep. I took a half-hour nap, but it did me marvels before the show.
Yeah.
Because I had like 6 hours in the last 48 sleep.
And I've been fighting a cold all week, you know, and it's
Hey, sound good.
It's,
You sound good.
It's cold and windy. Well, I mean, I'm medicated, but you know, I'm stuffed up. You know, I mean, I don't blow my nose over the microphone because you guys
That's
can
so
hear
bad.
that. But
Well, if you want to call in, we got about 15 minutes left. 718-618-9905. Rio's back. He's ready to rock.
see, somebody who wanted to talk to me is calling in, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
413, hello.
We don't hear you, 413.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on,
Go ahead.
413.
Now they can hear you.
All right, go ahead.
You guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, it's Eric from Mass. How's it going?
Hey,
Rio, that was me on my other phone, so I had the other 413 if you saw the calls. I don't know if they were going through or not.
Oh, I didn't see any. I don't show any missed calls.
But
so.
anywho, you're here now.
There you go. But yeah, I was going to say, you guys just got to talking about it once I got on here that I kept yelling, like, what's it going to do to the businesses and the grocery stores? And I mean, everybody doesn't realize how much the prices will go up if they, remove SNAP for even a month, the 20% a month, like you guys are talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
And the economic impact of that is just insane,
Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people, and it's not going to really be a good thing. It's not already a good thing. In a way, like the whole shutdown thing hasn't really affected most people's lives, but it's going to start affecting a lot of people very shortly.
Right. And all the airport, TSA and people that aren't getting paid. I mean, the man from Austin has been saying, like, they don't even have gas to drive to work, eventually if you don't get paid for weeks and weeks, you're begging grandma for $20 to get to your job, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, what happens with, and that's part of, a problem with the situation here in general is there's so many people who live from paycheck to paycheck, right? They don't have, thousands in their bank account that, they can weather a couple weeks without a check. There's just people who just don't have that, and it's not only gas in the car, but it's the rent, their electric bill, or, keeping the lights on, that kind of thing. And any little bit that you ding them, is going to make it that much worse for them.
Yep.
So it's not a great situation.
Yeah, I think this delay that it takes for it to reach the upper tier that causes the problem. Like the upper crust, if you will, knows it takes about 3 months for it to reach them. But and they have the money to sustain that 3 months for sure. They're in their bunker in New Zealand or out in their yacht somewhere. But the thing is, when it hits them, it's so catastrophic, right? Because now they withdraw contributing to the economy completely because they're trying to hold on to what they got, right? Most people, most of them are. And so this idea of this Ayn Rand kind of philosophy where, it's Atlas Shrugged, right? Like, let the rulers rule. This idea of, what's his name? Not Levi Strauss, but Straussian philosophy. It doesn't work, right? It only works when the upper crust is kept apart from being impacted. Once they're impacted, then that is truly the societal collapse. And it doesn't take that much. If 20% that affects us and affects us more immediately, is going to affect them definitely within 3 months. And then nobody's buying their iPhones. Nobody's buying an upgrade for the new iPhone. Nobody's buying any kind of unnecessary expenditure because they're strictly focused on maintaining their, their food and roof over their head. And a lot of things that people were missing is that the price of electricity has gone up exponentially in this last couple of months.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
so these basic things, yeah, it's everything.
I think on the larger scale too. I know Jimmy's taking a moment to check the perimeter, but I was going to say for you gentlemen, the factor that they basically want to foster everyone into, because what is the retail things that are staying open and don't have really problems? Grocery stores are kind of the number one because most people aren't going to order their food from Amazon Fresh or all these things, but more and more people are in higher brackets. So what they're trying to do, if you ask me, is in the New World Order way, they're trying to use this little thing as a way to maybe swing people away from, you know what I mean? Like if they bring back SNAP, or in the future they'll make SNAP, well, you get more money if you order it from Amazon Go and they deliver it to your door. And that way, there's no retail stores for theft, and there's no, you guys know, like you tell them at the front what you want, they go get it, put it there, and you never can even have a chance to steal anything because they...
Hegelian dialectic again, problem, solution. Yeah, absolutely. You create the problem, manage it, and then provide the solution. And the idea all along was to get the independent grocery store and independent food market chain and independent farmers market out of the equation completely and control everything.
Right.
I mean, that is the idea. That's the objective.
In the Northeast here, I don't know, Rio, you probably know, like the IGA supermarket chain.
No, that's more up by you. We don't. We don't have any of them down here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you heard of them though, probably. So I didn't know if others even ever heard of them. But that's basically a small chain. For everybody listening, and you Epic, the smaller chain that basically started out by helping, taking small stores that were family run or whatever, and kind of they've kept their kind of small townish feel, or they're just a smaller. There's only in the Northeast up there, here in Massachusetts, and points north. Place, and I've talked to a couple of people. There's one called Geisler's that I go to sometimes, and I mean those type of small, places will just they will literally close. Like he told me, if they didn't have SNAP for a month, they would just close. Yeah.
Yeah, and and that's there again. It has a ripple effect, right? It's going to put the grocery store out of business, so whoever works there is going to be out of job.
Right. But I understand you can't just keep giving people, money forever, and people that have been on it for 40 years or something. But in my mind, it just then on on the hour, I turned on Fox News Radio, and the first thing I hear is we're going to give Jamaica aid, and then I just want to slap the radio like, how much foreign aid do we give? I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, well, and that's something I've always argued about is like, why are we helping people in other countries and not helping our own? If Trump's whole agenda right now is America first, right? We should not be sending humanitarian aid to Africa or South America or anywhere else. We should be feeding our own veterans. We should be feeding our own homeless people and taking care of them, right?
Regardless, we need the money. Like if we're all $38 trillion in debt, we're just screwing ourselves over, giving Jamaica, a country that will never really be an economic superpower, maybe pay us back. And, it's not a racial thing. It's not anything like that. It's just like, it's a bad investment. And I hate to be that cold about it because there are humans there, and I understand. But, I mean, every $1 million we shovel out, I think the only reason foreign aid still exists is because it gets kickbacks to people in Congress. That's the only reason I think it's still there.
I'm going to give another point of view, actually.
There's over 100,000 homeless people in New York City alone, right?
Right.
So why not feed those people before you feed the Jamaicans?
I'm down with that. But yeah, I just want to say that the foreign aid serves a purpose. I mean, every intelligence agency, every government has used this from time immemorial because, it's good. It's goodwill for us, right? So it's the idea of letting America be the good guys. All those live aid, packages of rice and beans that went around the world had the U.S. logo on them. So when those people went in Somalia and wherever, and they ate their food that day and they got it out of that bag, it was said donated by the people of America. It literally has a sign on there, little stencil things that's donated by the people of America. And so it's building goodwill. And international diplomacy, that's what you want. You want to be the good guy. You don't want them to turn to China. You don't want to turn to Russia. You don't want people offering them, the autocratic dictator rubies or something. You want the people to, try to adhere to our values, to think democracy is a good thing. And so there's tens of dollars made on every dollar invested that way.
Yeah, fully understand the geopolitical or geostrategy of doing things like that. But I just basically then
it's a tiny percent. It's like a 0.5%. I think it's 1/10 of 1%, if I remember right. That actually goes out in foreign aid. It's very small, compared to the national budget. It's hardly anything.
Is
compared
that
like the defense?
Right.
Of the entire budget, discretionary budget, yeah.
Right. Is that small amount? Where is that the same amount that SNAP is, for example, or like those are the questions that
actually it's pretty close. It is pretty well. SNAP's more, but I think SNAP's like a full. I don't have the chart in front of me, if I recall it. It is significantly more, but it's affecting 41 million Americans, so it should. But
right. So
it's.
Hear me out. Is SNAP basically paying the locals here not to riot or to commit terrorist acts, and basically, when we give it to a country out in the Middle East or something, it prevents terrorist acts when we were out there from them killing our soldiers because we fed them. Like, I understand all the dynamics, but I mean, the bottom line is we're 38 trillion in debt, so we're just slowly killing ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm. From foreign wars.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. That $38 trillion is mostly from foreign wars that we had no benefit of fighting. $7 trillion, I think it was for Iraq, and same for Afghanistan, and then however much Vietnam got us in and inflation adjusted. Then we pay the interest on all that stuff, and the interest is more than what we owe per year, proportionally, right? I mean, we're in that kind of credit card loop where we're paying more on the interest because we can't afford to pay it outright. So we would take $6 trillion profit, I think, if I remember correctly. That might be wrong. In our GDP, but $6 trillion, if we were able to spend it all on the debt, is only $6 trillion a year. So it would take us basically 6 years to pay down the debt, if that's all we did. Right. So and we don't do that. We spend
or you could just you could buy a bunch of crypto. You could buy a bunch of crypto, and then pump it so it's worth enough to pay off the debt. All right, listen. It's almost time for us to get out. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you calling, man.
Yeah, good call, man. Thank you.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We did that.
All right, Rock and Rio, Epic Journeyman. It's that time. It's Ground Zero Plus. We'll be back tomorrow night. Shaluminati at 8 o'clock Pacific. Say goodnight, boys. Time to go.
Happy Halloween. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
I walked out late into the dark. The misty gloom seemed to soak up my sorrow. The further I went on, I felt a spreading calm. Then suddenly my eyes were bathed in light, and the lovely lady in white was by my side. She said, like me I see you're walking alone. Won't you please stay? I couldn't look away. Can
Some velvet morning when I'm straight, I'm gonna open up your gate and maybe tell you about Phaedra and how she gave me life and how she made it in some velvet morning when I'm straight.
Flowers growing on a hill, dragonflies and daffodils, learn from us very much. Look at us, but do not touch. Phaedra is my name.